Hello and welcome back to the ARK of E podcast. My name is Noah.
And my name is Gavin.
And we're the Blanchard brothers, back with our second pod of 2021.
Yes.
Hopefully everybody, I saw actually a lot of people, this was the rare episode where you're like, hey, how are those numbers?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
We've had about 50 people check out.
Hell yeah.
The Cobra Kai Season 3 New Year's Day Hangover Benjalong, of course. So thank you for everybody who checked that out. If you're new to the feed because somehow you were like, oh, these guys like Karate Kid? I like these guys, all right.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're reasonably entertaining.
If you're like, hey, where's that one chick at? Sorry, she's not on this episode.
Yeah. But if you would like to hear more from Becky or like a whole separate pod that you guys just do.
Yeah.
That, I'm always down for something I don't have to take part in that I can then distribute. I like to pull the strings. I like to puppet master.
Okay. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I got you.
Yes. I am the wizard, also the walrus, Cuckoo Cachoo.
The Wizard of West Ashley?
Sure. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Okay. So on the agenda for today, we're kicking off the year in true ARK of E fashion. We're going to do a little teeny tiny review of a movie that the whole discourse has already gone through.
Right.
Every iteration already. We're going to talk Wonder Woman 1984 for just a smidge, and then that will transition us into the HBO Max Warner Brothers lineup of 2021. And given that we're going to get a bunch of these, quote unquote blockbuster releases this year at home, which again, we talked about this on previous episode. We do want to see some of those in theaters if we're able to, and a lot of them will be playing near us, theoretically.
Hopefully.
So, but yeah, given that everybody will be able to see them easily, we figured we'd run down the slate and decide which ones we might want to do, like day and date, mini reviews and or, full-on episodes about, see what we're hyped for, basically. You said you have not looked at the thing in...
No, I have not.
In its total? So
no, I have no idea. I only know that that Money on Leto one is coming out.
Yes, the little things.
Little things. Yeah.
I keep wanting to call it the little ones, but that's a different movie.
Yes.
Yes. Anyways, we'll talk about that slate, and then we'll also talk about. I made a little list of most anticipated, theoretically, for this year that we'll go through. I'll try and get you hyped on some of those. We'll cap it off with a little what we've been watching and the triumphant return of 2x2 Retro Reviews.
Yes.
The show that...
The real reason why we're here.
Yeah. I mean, nobody particularly demanded more of them.
Right.
But we enjoyed doing them last year quite a bit. It got us through parts of 2020. It was fun introducing each other to some stuff and revisiting some favorites. So we're going to continue that, and we will end this episode by exchanging movies, as we usually do. And so next time you hear from us, it'll be a 2x2 retro review and something else probably, but that's gonna be the main focus.
Yeah.
And we committed to what? We're gonna try and do one a month.
At least
I think
one.
that's reasonable.
Yeah.
We kind of just burnt through a bunch last year, but I think we commit to one a month as part of the slate. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that should be enough.
Okay. So let's kick it off. We're doing the new stuff at the top. We're not going to make you wait for it. And again, nobody cares what we think about this at this point. Wonder Woman 1984, you and I have not talked about it off mic really at all. We talked about it briefly New Year's Eve over dinner, but not...
Which was fucking amazing, by the way.
Best meal of 2020.
We didn't talk... Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Shout out to the fat... shout out to the fat hen.
You guys are killing it,
John's
man.
Island, yeah.
Just phenomenal. I mean, I put ketchup on ketchup, dude. And when I got that steak...
Yeah, this man... Go ahead.
When I got that steak, I instantly went like, well, where's the sauce? But before I got it, we had a conversation of, would Gavin like béarnaise or not? And I'm like, it's butter on a steak? I don't like butter. What do you mean I don't like butter? Are you crazy?
There's eggs and shit in it, too.
Well, I mean, if anything, the eggs made it like better, I think. A little more protein with the steak I'm eating, but... So I take a bite, and I'm just like, I was like, I need to go change my shorts, man. I think I came. It was crazy. And then, so I'm eating the steak, and I'm like, let me just try. I'm obviously nice restaurant downtown, or not downtown, nice restaurant, John's Island. Everybody's like, hey, I'm having this, I'm having that. What do I get? I get fries. I get fries with my steak. I mean, it's New Year's Eve. I can do what I want. And no ketchup for the fries. I'm like, what? No ketchup for the fries either? Started eating one. Oh my god, I don't need any ketchup or anything with these things. The perfect meal to end 2020 on. I can't recommend it enough. If you find yourself, parading around John's Island not knowing what to eat, Fat Hen. That
100%.
Hands down.
And we'll turn this into a food podcast for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I had milk braised pork shoulder
Ooh.
with cannelle pasta, oyster mushrooms, kale, and tomatoes.
Yeah, when you ordered it, I honestly thought you just ordered it to be able to tell people that you had it.
It was
Because you say milk braised pork shoulders. The way you say it to people, the way you were saying it to people that night, I was like, okay, Noah, I see what you're doing there.
dude, milk braised. Who knew?
Yeah.
Perfection. Literally one of like probably the 10 best dishes I've eaten in my entire life. So good. Amazing. Wanted to lick the plate clean. Pretty much did. Okay. That was Food Corner.
Oh,
Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
You're trying really hard not to talk about it. So what did you think?
I mean, I didn't need to see it in theaters. Now that I've seen it, I watched it Christmas Day.
Right. As did I.
Yeah. And it wasn't the first one. It wasn't but I don't think it was trying to reinvent anything. I just think it was like, hey, here it is. And I talked to you for a split second about it, and I wondered if any of it was changed or altered because of the fact it wasn't released in theaters, because I
think clearly that ending has to have been.
And I haven't read up on it. Maybe it was.
And then the really clunky cameo as well. I was like, was that supposed to be part of this? Or were you guys like hedging your bets because you thought you had to do some fan service?
Right.
Wait, my overall take, again, brief mini review. I'm not even going to put this in the title of the episode because honestly, again, who cares at this point?
Right.
Like, what, 2 weeks removed? It's already came and went from the consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it Christmas Day after we got home, but after watching Soul on Disney Plus, which also came out the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already in a great mood because Soul was fantastic. Okay. And so I watched Wonder Woman, and I'm told, by the way, Veronica watched Soul with me, and then I was like, do you want to watch Wonder Woman 1984? Because I'm watching both. And she was like, no. No interest.
No thanks.
But she loved Soul. She thought it was great.
That's good.
So she goes up and goes to bed, and I'm like, all right, 2.5 hours, Wonder Woman 1984. Let's do this. I'm excited for it, right?
Right.
And I was just, I won't even say I was underwhelmed. I was just whelmed, which was slightly disappointing because I was like, I really liked that first one. I thought it was really solid. Probably the best DC movie. I'm not saying anything new here, but I was just like, not everything worked in it. It's way too long. Has a villain problem for sure.
Oh yeah.
Some plot holes, but in general, I was like, all right, I've seen worse superhero movies. I've definitely seen worse superhero movies, period. If that's the bar we're judging it against. I've also seen movies that are like, so many movies that are way better than this.
Right.
But on the night, I was just like, you know what? And I also, maybe I do want to stop doing this year. I don't know. We might continue to do it. But on Instagram, I'll post like an instant review, essentially. Mm-hmm. And it's just a number thing. And it's usually a tag for like, we're going to talk about this on the podcast in a little bit more depth. But if you're looking for a raw reaction, here it is. And, maybe you'll check it out as well before we talk about it.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? It's Christmas, baby. 7.5. And immediately after posting it, I get a text from Sunshine Mayfield. Works on a little show called Bending Not Breaking. You may have heard of it. Biggest show on the network. They're kind of a big deal. And he's like, 7.5? Really? And it's in text. So I'm like, oh, he thinks I'm way too low on it.
Yeah.
He really does.
You don't know. Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, man, what did you give it? And I look on his Instagram at the same moment that I send that text, and he's at like 5.5. And I was just like, that was my first taste of like, oh, there's people who like really, really don't like this movie.
Right.
And then I proceeded to watch the discourse over the next like few days of people just like, this is trash, this is the worst like superhero movie, they did the character dirty, all this different stuff. I listened to like 4 or 5 podcasts about it, like ones I already follow that went out of their way to be like, oh shit, we gotta talk about this.
Right.
And I still, even after all of those, like, I get that like it's pretty bad if you're like, if one thing kind of like you brush up against it and then you're just in the mood to like nitpick kind of thing. In the moment, I was just like, you know what? I like that she just straight up heroic shit here and there. I love that, like, when we do reduce it back down to its more base elements, more like early Superman, like Richard Donner or something, where it's just like, it's just a guy like doing very small good things for people. I like that shit. So the first half of this played for me, and then, like I said, it's way too long, and it somehow manages to shortchange its 2 main supporting characters, even though it's 2.5 hours long. Like, how did I still come out of the movie going like, yeah, they really didn't make enough time for Kristen Wiig or Pedro Pascal, which is pretty much, I would say, the only true redeeming factor. I thought the chemistry with Gal Gadot and Chris Pine still worked, and that's kind of the magic of the first movie. But I've seen a lot of people point out that like they just had huge issues with like how he comes back into it, and the fact that he's even in it to begin with.
Right.
A lot of people were just like, why do we need this? Like, can't she just anchor her own movie? Why does she has to be tethered to Chris Pine? And I'm like, well, Chris Pine's like one of the most entertaining like things about the first one.
Right.
And
the Man
their
Out of
love
Time
story
stuff with him
really
was amazing.
works. So I understand the instinct to bring him back, but maybe you didn't need it. Maybe that's something, you know, maybe the wishing stone is like Wonder Woman 5 or 6. My other, like, I did feel this in the moment. This was part of my disappointment with it the first evening, was just like, 84. We got that great trailer, fucking Blue Monday.
Yeah. Whoever cut that trailer
and then
needs to be given an award.
And
because
then not a single cool music drop. I think there was one like Frankie Goes to Hollywood song that I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of a deep cut. I see you. I like it. But there, I was just like, you said it in 84. We get a little bit of like 80s nostalgia kitsch in the first, like in the mall. And then it's pretty much just like, now we're going to explore the geopolitical territory of 1984 in the Middle East, etc. And I was just like, huh? What? I was like, I wanted some more fun 80s shit, like more fanny packs. Can we go back to that?
Yeah.
But, yeah. So again, I was just kind of middle of the road on it. Like, definitely don't think it's great. Don't plan on rewatching it probably ever again. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that so many. But I feel like a lot of people were like, I planned my whole Christmas around this shit. Yeah, like, fuck you guys. I got all excited. It was coming out on HBO Max. I signed up for HBO Max just to watch this. By the way, that's a side note before we get into their slate. Guys, you got to fix your servers. You got a lot of new people on because of the push in the Warner Brothers slate. You got to expand the bandwidth, because I'm getting kicked out. I'm getting episodes of The Leftovers interrupted. It is not cool. I've seen it before. It's still not cool. Okay? All right. That's pretty much it on Wonder Woman 84. Nah. But again, I don't have the vitriol for it that some people seem to. Like,
I don't.
There was a lot of people pissed off at this movie.
Right. But see, my thing is like, I wonder how much of it is its own worst enemy, because
all of the as far as we know, this is 100% the movie Patty Jenkins wanted to make.
No. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Wonder Woman, the first one. How much of it is its own worst enemy? Because you have to hand it to them for all the talk of like, oh, Marvel's this and Marvel's that. Marvel had not had a straight up female lead in a superhero movie until after this came along.
Marvel, yeah.
So ideally, if you're going to say it, like, the bar was kind of low for like, we haven't had a female before. So when Wonder Woman, the first one, came out,
and it was good,
it was really good. It was like, okay. And I'm all for keeping the person who, what dance with the one that brung you, like that, like having her move into this. My only big complaint with it is the fact that it just doesn't. again, I don't know if it changes, but it's like I was watching it, reading it as, oh, I wonder how this would have played in the theaters in the summertime. Because
Right.
if that's the movie I was going to see in the summer, it's like I'm supposed to feel bad and like kind of not like Pedro Pascal, the wannabe Donald Trump stand-in,
Right.
and like I end
That's
up kind
what's
of feeling bad for
that's
him.
what's so complicated about it. And I remember reading all of this stuff beforehand, all these like alt-right publications before the movie had been screened for anyone, as far
Right.
as I know, that were just like, "Oh, this the villain's based on Trump. It's kind of a Trump parody. Yeah, this is woke bullshit. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah." Like condemned it before it even came out, and then I'm like, did you guys actually watch the movie? Because it's
Right.
if it is in fact like a straight up like we're trying to make this Trump, which it very obviously seems to be. It's like it's so weird for it to at the end be like almost like Scrooge or something, where it's like, or the Grinch, like his heart melts or whatever, and he has an attack of conscience, and it's like you made me. And also, it is very cheap that it's just like let's have a flashback to his troubled childhood. He watched his mom get beaten,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. It's like now we're supposed to care about him, etc. It just
But that's my
it was
thing.
very rushed.
Did you change it because he lost the election and you felt bad about him?
see, I don't.
That's where my head
I
went.
don't know. I think the intention was always for it to end on that note of like she doesn't have to like it doesn't have to be a big final battle.
Right.
She wins it with like
Love.
words and love.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, it conquers all. So
It does, yeah.
what are you gonna do?
But I mean, and again, I agree. I think Kristen Wiig. I was having known, like knowing what
I-
happened with Ghostbusters and all that, with the female
She's
Ghostbuster
got,
thing.
honestly, she's gotten a raw deal.
She has.
Post Bridesmaids in general in movies.
She's John Hamm's person in Friends with Kids, right?
Which not enough people saw
I
and
fucking
was
love
great.
that movie,
Great
dude.
movie.
I will stand up and cheer for that movie every fucking time anybody wants to
Great
talk
stuff,
about it.
dude.
It's
Great
fucking
Adam
great.
Scott as well.
Oh yeah, but like that's the thing. Like I remember her in that and Bridesmaids, all that. But I just remember like the whole Ghostbusters old girls thing and it not being that great. And I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's not. It maybe even be better than this. I don't know. But I feel like with her, there was so much there that's like okay, Wonder Woman can go. Like go save a kitten. I want to know what this girl's doing.
Yeah,
and I didn't get any of it.
because you have to fit her origin story in with Pedro Pascal as the like overarching villain.
Right.
It just doesn't work. The other thing, and a lot of people have pointed this out, again, not a new take at all. I feel like it was definitely diminished because you can see the trajectory and dude, the amount of parallels period to Batman Returns. Think about it for a second.
Please enlighten me.
We got the Selena Kyle character. You have the template basically for like what's supposed to happen with Cheetah.
Right.
She's kind of, nervous, fumbling, like shy. She gets power. She becomes more like assured of herself.
Right.
Takes it too far, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
You've got the stand-in like evil businessman.
Max Shrek.
Yes.
Okay.
The penguin angle does not fit in here. I'm not saying that it does necessarily, but the idea of having multiple villains, period, kind of fits in.
She just kind of hook up with a would-be billionaire. Yeah.
And where the ostensibly lead character is not really the lead of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she is in, I mean, she's in it a good bit, but there's also so much that's just like her and Chris Pine, or her interacting with, Anyways.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have pointed that out, and I'm saying I just watched Batman Returns close to Christmas, and like I forgot how much I fucking love that movie, dude.
You know how
It's so
scared I
good.
was of that movie for a long
I
time?
was saying when we watched it as kids, I just remember like being creeped out by it, but it's crazy. It's one of those I go back to and I'm like, I know every frame of this.
Yes.
And I forget that like I've seen 89 a ton of times. Watched it on VHS a lot with you.
Right.
But Returns, I think as a kid it was that case where I'm like, no, it's the sequel. Like it's the sequel. I like this one better.
Right.
And I think over time, like, yeah, superior movie in a lot of ways to the 89 Batman.
I mean, yeah, just I mean, if you're judging it just based off of like if you just judge it based off like Batman-ness, like the cave, the car, the the gadgets, all that. I mean, to me, it takes everything that like worked about the '89 version and was just like, hey, you know what? We're gonna lean heavy into this.
It's
because
more Burton-y, which like so much more so than the first one.
because what I'll argue is obviously we all know at the time '89 Nicholson's the star. He's the star coming in. Who is this Michael Keaton dude? Okay, Night Shift. All right, cool. Johnny Dangerous. All right, whatever. So it's a Jack Nicholson vehicle that Michael Keaton happens to be Batman in. Whereas like by this time it's like, oh, okay, that's Michael Keaton, and you know, Michelle Pfeiffer. What's she done? What has she been in before that?
She's huge at that point from Married to the Mob and
Married to the Mob. Okay, what about
Fabulous Baker Boys as well at that point?
Was Dangerous Liaisons out by then?
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, she's like huge at that point.
Right.
Dude,
Okay.
That
That
cast
works.
in general.
Yeah.
The odd man out is Christopher Walken, who was not in a great spot at that point. But eventually, this is pre.
That's right, 'cause
him
DeVito
becoming
had-
kind of a kitsch icon, and DeVito was a huge movie star at that point.
Yeah, he'd throw him home from the train. Twins
and director as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Cheers.
Okay, we don't have. Anyways,
Yeah,
Batman
let's
Returns
just
is great. It's on HBO.
you watched that, so let's just roll into what you've been watching real quick.
No,
What are
we're
we
going to
doing?
do that at the end.
Oh.
So we're doing the new stuff up front.
All right, new stuff up front.
So we're transitioning from Wonder Woman, 1984,
To Warner Brothers.
and also, Batman Returns is available on HBO Max, where all of this stuff is.
I'm gonna have to watch that tonight, probably.
So there you go, dude. Such a great rewatch. I was so much fun. Okay, we mentioned this one already, and we are most definitely doing an episode on it. On January 29th, 2021, we get The Little Things. Okay.
It's the day after mine's birthday.
Mine's birthday?
Mine's birthday.
Okay. The Little Things comes from John Lee Hancock. Here's where I'm a little iffy. Okay. Director of The Blind Side, Saving Mr. Banks, The Highwayman, which I never watched.
Oh,
Woody
that was a
and
good.
Kevin
That was a good one.
Costner,
Yeah, no, I like that.
And The Rookie with Dennis Quaid.
Huh.
Okay. So
a Disney guy.
From that guy. I don't know what to say, man. It just looks like fucking Seven.
Yeah.
It looks like Seven 25 years later.
You know what? But there's that shot at the end of the trailer where Denzel is sitting there, and I'm like, dude, did he do all this? He did this. Like, he is the guy.
Oh, there's that element.
He's the
'cause
killer.
You're like, he's obviously trying to. And again, we have said, and you better goddamn well believe this episode will be called "My Money's on Leto Part 2," the Little Things review.
That works. Part 2.
But yeah, that's. I mean, literally one of our favorite jokes of 2020 to come out of this podcast was "My Money's on Leto." Mm-hmm. Huge misunderstanding. Go back and listen to that episode. It's great. And we were like, based on the description alone, 2 cops tracked down a serial killer, and we were like, it's got Denzel,
Rami Malek,
and Leto, and it was like, who's the murderer? Like, obviously, and it was like, my money's on Leto, because why not? But Rami Malek, strong contender too. But it didn't occur to me until we're watching the trailer that I'm like, oh, Denzel.
What if Denzel did that shit?
I
and
feel
like
this
he's
is
just trying
gonna
to
be a
he wants to
little
like
twisty twist.
Yeah, that's what I got huge vibes from that when he was standing in that house with the trash bags.
Yes.
And I'm like, he wants to put it together, because if it's unsolved so many years later, somebody's going to come and figure something out and be like, wait a minute, the guy who was working this case and then retired and like became a security guard and sat in an open window diner a lot, just like the Equalizer. What if he did it? And that's what you're going to find out. So his whole like drive is like, I got to figure out how to pin this on Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Because, it's all about that trunk space, baby. So
The trunk space moment of the trailer is also what completely sold me on it, where it's like, I want to watch these guys go toe-to-toe for 2 hours.
Well, you know what
please?
really
Yes.
what should sell anybody on it? And I'm sure it's happened before. A lot of times it happens and it sucks because like it's not a real thing. But that thing came up at the end and it said Academy Award winner for all 3. And usually you got Academy Award winner and then nominee by one of them. And it kind of sucks. But
I also think
it's
probably
3 of them-
anytime you see that where it's like 3 Academy Award winners assembled, the movie is probably not good.
It is. That's it.
It ends up not
That's
being
what I was.
good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, could this break the mold?
And
Because
it's
I
like-
don't know.
What is this like? this is going to be a trend because this is how you made me pick out our 2x2 retro review. You said it's got to be trash that was dumped in January.
Noah, let me tell you this. When I went looking for releases in January, do you know what came up under Wikipedia?
What's that?
Dump months.
Months.
Dump months. That's the title that came up. And it went into detail about how...
Historically...
Yeah.
And I don't even know if historically... I guess I'm saying...
No, it is. That Wikipedia article said it's historically.
But I'm saying... I don't think... I looked back at like January in the 70s. I'm like, they weren't dumping movies in January. Like the release schedule to me was not a thing maybe till more in the like mid 80s.
Yeah, after Jaws, after blockbusters are established. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, traditionally, January, February, that's where you put all the trash that you just couldn't make work, and you just dump it out there, and you hope people go see it because it's early part of the year, and you hope maybe they confuse it with, like, the Oscar contenders. I don't know.
Or if you have insider knowledge that a pandemic's coming and you want your movie to be the #1 movie of the year, you put Bad Boys for Life out in January.
You're saying they had insider knowledge?
They might have. Just like that lady from Georgia, who's no longer a senator. Right? I don't know. That's what I heard.
Okay. Shall we move
we
along?
shall.
Okay, so we put it on the docket. We're definitely talking the little things. So if you have HBO Max, check that one out. End of the month, January 29th.
Be a nice birthday present to myself.
Yes. February 12th, 2 days before Valentine's Day, we get Judas and the Black Messiah.
Ooh.
Have you seen the trailer for this?
Negative. What is this about?
This is about Fred Hampton,
okay,
chairman of the Illinois Black Panther Party, and his fateful betrayal by FBI informant William O'Neill.
Oh, fucking!
Now
I just
I'm going to tell you.
I
don't know if you're looking at this, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you two actors, and you tell me who's playing who.
Okay.
So Lakeith Stanfield's in this movie, and Daniel Kaluuya is also in this movie.
It's a Get Out reunion.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, I got Daniel Kaluuya playing the FBI guy. Lakeith Stanfield playing Fred Hampton.
Nope.
Flip it. Okay.
Yeah.
That was
Lakeith is the informant. Jesse Plemons in there as well. Martin Sheen. Laurel Howery. Yeah, dude, it is a Get Out reunion.
Where's what's his face?
Which one?
If I could vote for Obama a third time, I would do that. That dude.
Bradley Whitford.
Yeah, where's
Martin
Woodford?
Sheen got the call instead.
Well,
and that is from director Shaka King, who I think has at least one other feature.
I feel like I've heard
but has worked on Shrill, High Maintenance, a couple other shows. So the trailer for this one looks fantastic. It was supposed to come out tail end of last year. I don't know if technically this will compete for Oscars given the window. I'm honestly not sure. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. Just based on the cast, I know we will definitely both watch it.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Whether or not we'll do a full-on episode, but we'll definitely talk Judas and the Black Messiah again. We get that one on February 12th.
Because what I was thinking was, even if we don't do full-on episodes on these, we could definitely make them segments. Like, what's up at Warner Brothers? Boom.
Yeah, HBOMaxing, which is probably the title of this episode.
Yeah. Okay.
March 5th, we get Tom and Jerry. Don't really care. It's live action. They come into the real world, I believe, but they're still animated.
Oh, like Space Jam.
I might check it out.
Never been a really big fan of them.
It's got Chloe Grace Moretz, Michael Pena, Rob Delaney, Bobby Cannavale, Laurel Howery again, and Ken Jeong. It's free for a month on HBO, so
might as well.
Maybe give it a shot.
Oh, so that's what they're doing. They come out and they're free for a month and then they're gone. Is that the limited release thing with Max? Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
We should mention that.
I never.
You have 30 days to watch these
right,
when they premiere. So you can also stagger, and it's like, I don't care about these 3 movies, but I do want to sign up when this one's coming out, etc. This is a crossover to my main list, which I was like, I don't want to put any HBO Max ones on there, but I realized I did it. March 12th, 2021, we get The Many Saints of Newark, which is the Sopranos prequel.
What?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Directed by Alan Taylor, who directed a ton of episodes, and David Chase is back, along with Lawrence Connor, who I think wrote a bunch of episodes as well. But yeah, it's a prequel series. It's young Tony, who's being played by Gandolfini's son, Michael Gandolfini. I've been waiting for it was supposed to come out last year as well, and it was going to be theatrical, and it's like, it is kind of weird that it's an HBO show, and it's like they're doing a full-on movie, but it's coming out theatrical. I was like, that's kind of really cool, because normally this would be like a Deadwood movie situation where it just shows up on the service one day and it's just there. But now, given the fact that, like, yeah, I don't think it's going to get any kind of theatrical release, but I was excited to see it in the context of, like, this is how you would watch a Scorsese movie, as opposed to, like, it being trapped on the small screen. But regardless, I just want to see it. I didn't rewatch. I watched Sopranos for the first time, start to finish, last year. And so I was primed for it because I thought we were...
At least going to get it.
I thought we were getting it last year still, but, you know, they pushed. But they didn't push that far. I'm very excited. And notably, Michael Gandolfini he was on The Deuce, David Simon's show.
Okay.
For several years, and I was like, this kid's pretty good, this kid's pretty solid. And then when they're like, yeah, he's going to play the younger version of his dead father, I was like, that alone is like, when has that ever been done, man? I'm going to be bawling my eyes out, and it's going to be so weird because it's like...
Be people's heads getting shot off. There's going to be all this crazy mob shit, and you're just crying your eyes out.
You know, there's a lot of characters in this that you're like, well, I know they survive, obviously.
Right.
You know, so what's the story going to be?
Exactly.
How is it going to inform? I'm very curious about it.
Yeah.
Returning to it after all this time. So that's the Many Saints of Newark, and we get it March fucking 12th. So excited. All right. April 16th. So anyways, I will be talking about that one.
Yeah.
I would love for you to watch it out of context.
Yeah, I'll do
having
that.
not watched any Sopranos, and just see if you like it.
Hey,
and then
I've
you
watched-
can have
I've
the
watched
unique
some.
experience of maybe it'll make you want to dive into the show, though.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could. It could happen.
It
could happen.
April 16th. Reminiscence. Okay.
Okay.
It's a sci-fi romantic thriller.
Okay.
Directed and written by Lisa Joy. She is married to the other Nolan. They do Westworld together.
Oh.
If that gives you pause for one reason or another, totally understandable. Westworld Season 1, masterful. Great stuff. Season 2, huge dip. Season 3, one of the worst seasons of prestige TV I've ever seen in my life. Westworld has completely gone off the rails. It's kind of a shit show. But maybe in a feature length, we'll get something different. Hugh Jackman's in here, Rebecca Ferguson, and Tandy Newton from Westworld, among many other things. Sci-fi story about a scientist who discovers a way to relive your past, which he then uses to search for his lost love. So, and you know, I do like a good Hugh Jackman picture every once in a while. So, and again, it's free on HBO. This is the epitome, though, of like, yeah, I'm not going to make any effort to see this one in theaters.
Right.
Even if it is playing near me. This one that I'm about to tell you about.
Speaking of Hugh Jackman, real quick.
Okay, let's speak of Hugh Jackman.
Did you see that Deadpool 3 will be rated R and will be a shared universe film?
They're resurrecting him.
What?
They're resurrecting him.
Deadpool 3?
No, they're resurrecting Logan? Like, why the hell does Hugh Jackman have anything to do with it?
Oh, no, because you just Logan and Deadpool 2. I just saw the announcement the other day. Ryan Reynolds put on his Instagram. I didn't know if you saw that or not.
Oh, okay.
You know how much I love Deadpool. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
This next one is actually in the midst of a legal debate right now as to whether or not it will, in fact, come out on HBO Max.
Oh.
There's a couple of these, actually. But Godzilla vs. Kong,
Yeah.
because it's produced by Legendary, who also have their hands on Dune. We'll get to Dune in a bit. It's in contention right now whether they're going to even allow it on HBO Max. They're trying to come to some sort of agreement. I don't know if it's going to be a shortened release window or what. This seems like the epitome, though, of like, I want to see this in a theater, dude.
Yeah, dude, I definitely
because you know who's directing this, don't you?
No.
Our boy Adam Wingard.
Oh my God!
You're
yes.
next in the
Yes,
guest, baby.
yes.
Give him a budget. Let him
Yes.
run wild. I'm so excited.
You got to make up for that terrible misdirect with the whole Blair Witch thing, man.
Yeah, dude.
You gotta make up for that.
Again, I have given him a pass for that, which I really shouldn't have, because Death Note, totally okay. Not bad, but not great. Yeah, he directed a Death Note movie for Netflix. You forget that, don't you?
That's the anime one. Like
It's
it was based
a
off the
live
anime?
action version of the anime.
Yeah, I
and
didn't
an
know he did
Americanized
that.
version. Yeah, it's Adam Wingard.
I had no idea.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
But yeah, this one's been in the works for a bit. I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen any. I didn't see Godzilla. Was it King of the Monsters?
Yeah.
That's the most recent one?
Mm-hmm.
With Millie Bobby Brown, who's also in this one.
And Kyle Chandler.
Didn't see it. But
You
he's
saw
back.
Kong Skull Island.
He's
though,
back
right?
for this. Dude, fuck yeah, I saw Kong Skull
Yeah,
Island,
okay.
and it was amazing.
That should be enough for you then. You should be like,
Well,
who
and
cares?
that's why I'm still amped for this, because I'm like, Wingard, I think, will lean more towards the Kong Skull Island
Right.
style of, like, that movie's just a blast, dude.
Yeah, you don't even have to
Another one
like King Kong.
Another one that I watched at home and was just kicking myself the whole time. I was
Me
like,
too.
why didn't I see this in the theater?
Right.
It's so good. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
The Gareth Edwards, Evan, fuck, I just did it.
You did
messed
it.
me
I was
up.
going to say, nope, wrong guy.
Gareth Edwards is the Godzilla guy. Gareth Evans is the Raid, and it was a fucking awesome dude. Gareth Edwards, he's all right. But yeah, he did Monster. He did the first Godzilla. I don't know who did Monster,
Skull Island?
King of the Monsters.
The King of the Monsters?
And yeah, I don't know who did Skull Island off the top of my head either. But
I thought Skull Island was the
really
same
like
guy that
Skull
did,
Island.
I thought it was Colin, what's his face?
Trevorrow? That doesn't
From
sound right.
Jurassic Park.
That doesn't sound right.
Maybe I'm thinking of something.
You want to look it up? Because I got this other browser
sure.
open. Thank you. Okay. But yeah, whether it's in a theater because it's not allowed on HBO Max, or if it does show up on HBO Max, I might rewatch it. But I'm excited for Godzilla versus Kong. Like, why not? Two great tastes that taste great together. And again, I mainly just want to see like what Adam Wingard's going to do on a bigger budget. What?
Jordan Vogt Roberts?
Voight yeah.
Roberts, yeah. Kings of Summer, Nick Offerman, American Ham,
Oh yeah.
Kong Skull Island, and
Yeah, he was one of those where it's like you make a little indie movie that people like, and what? What?
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah, he's slated for
yeah.
it. Yeah, we'll see if that happens. It's pretty much Uncharted is actually like on a list for this year, and I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it, dude. The amount of video game projects, that one in particular, that it's just like that has been kicked around for like since the first game came out, and they haven't been able to figure it out. And I'm like, it's Indiana Jones, but it's modern and it's
Fun.
I wanted to say more fun, but I was like, that's not fair to Indiana Jones.
No, because that's the problem. The thing with Indiana Jones that people don't remember is that, like, it doesn't matter what you do to them on screen. No one feels bad when you hurt Nazis. And when you have other bad guys that, like, may not deserve it, may like, oh man, my kid's hurt. I gotta, like, find this buried treasure to save my sick kid. It kind of takes the fun out of it, you know? But I would love it if like that Slate is, like it's U-Bowl has gone off to some Slavic country and made it for really cheap, and it's just terrible. But that's what we get this year. That'd be great. I would love it. That would be perfect.
Mayhaps. Okay. We're a little more than halfway through.
Okay.
June 4th. Just in time for Halloween. We get The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Okay.
Shout out to Mom. I know you're listening. Love you, Mom. I know she loves the Conjuring franchise. I never made it past the first one.
Me neither.
I saw it in a theater. I was super hyped for it. And I was like, there was a lot of people, and there's a lot of people who still stand by this, that it's like one of the best modern horror movies. And it just did not do it for me. And I was like, this is going to be the trend that everybody's going to now want. Like, this is the new Paranormal Activity, essentially, which is like going back to ghost stories again. Dialed down ghost stories. And I was just like, all right, okay. So I never followed up. I thought it was well made.
Yeah.
But it was one of those where I was like, I've just seen too many. I've literally seen too many, because all of the beats where like people were freaking out. I was like, it's paced well, but like he didn't get me, man. And I was like, dude, you've been making these for a while.
Right.
Like, do some M. Night Shyamalan half-stepping stuff where it's like, right here, no,
just to the left.
No!
Yeah.
Yeah, give me some of that. Anyways.
I could never get into I mean, I don't know. I believe some of them. I don't necessarily believe everything they've ever said, but just the people that they were talking about. I'm just kind of like, okay.
They're back, of course, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson.
Okay.
This is like, this,
No, like
this
not
is
them.
what
Just
they do now. Do you remember Vera Farmiga? The Departed?
Yeah, that's right. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah.
And it was like, Oh well, dude. Clearly, you know, she's the next big female actress. Like they're just gonna start throwing roles at her.
She's next Toni Collette. Nope, not happening.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, but no, it works. It's just the people they're portraying, just like in real life, with their whole
but they've
like
established their whole fictionalized universe of it at this point.
yeah, and I can accept that, but that's why I didn't get into the first one. Was just like, oh, it's the Amityville people. All right, cool. That's all you needed to tell me. I'm good.
But yeah, again, I know Mom will be excited to watch.
No, I'm sure.
And I do. It's one of those. I'm like every October. I'm like, is this the year? Is this the year
I'm going to get into the Conjuring?
All of the Conjuring movies that I've never seen.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole thing now, and like
just like the Purge.
Insidious. There's a couple purges I've missed out on. I've missed a couple purges.
There's a purge. The Forever Purge was supposed to come out last year.
Well, and I don't
know if it's on that list or not.
There's a TV series too, dude. It's just
too
much to keep up with. Okay, so yeah, you might hear again. I would love to say, oh, I'll save that one for October, but again, you only get these for a month. So like, honestly, I'm probably gonna watch this Conjuring out of context and just see what's happening, see how it goes.
Again, like you said, it's free. It's there for you. Just do it.
Okay, June 18th, we get In the Heights. This is based on the Lin-Manuel Miranda musical that is not Hamilton.
Oh.
Directed by John M. Chu. I think he did Crazy Rich Asians, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I'm not a huge musical guy, but given how much I did enjoy Hamilton, I'm gonna watch this. Trailer for it looks pretty solid, so here we go. In the Heights is June 18th, so yeah, you'll probably hear a little something about it. July 16th, though. Space Jam.
Oh, yeah.
A New Legacy.
Yes.
Movie sounds wild. Another one that's been in the works for like a long time. They've been trying to like, how do we sequelize this? And it only took them 2 decades. Yeah, we're going to watch it. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, who's going to be, but who's in it?
It's LeBron.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, LeBron's the new Michael. And nobody's arguing.
Oh,
like,
no, dude.
Who would argue with that?
Dude, what if somehow.
Well, that's why.
No, dude, this is my pitch. I hope this is what I hope. Somehow DeVito captures Michael right after he gets done taping the Last Dance stuff, drags him to Moron Mountain, and guess what? Who's got to go save him?
Dude.
It's a battle for Michael and Michael's soul, and LeBron is the only other player on the planet.
That would be incredible.
That would be amazing.
If they could actually get him to sign off on that. But you do realize, like, to get him to appear in another Space Jam, it would probably be like the most expensive movie ever made to have him do a cameo at this point. So,
like, you think Michael Bay is bad. Jordan,
obviously we're going to watch it. I mean,
of course.
Huge history with the first one.
Right.
Changed our lives in
so
many ways.
It's so weird to say the first one with that, you know, because it's like,
I know.
It isn't the first, it's just Space Jam, but like the idea there's going to be another one, that's fucking wild, man.
Speaking of movies that it's like, oh wait, did we do this already? The Suicide Squad.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for that. I am so amped.
I'm totally there. My only concern, and I know he's good at juggling ensembles. There's a lot of fucking people in this movie.
That's
and that's where I'm
have
like...
Have you watched any of the behind the scenes?
I watched the character trailers and stuff.
Well, no, like what he has done, the amount of attention to detail, everything he's done to make that dude, I think it's in perfect hands. Like, I get the whole, like...
No, I'm
ready for it.
At the very, like... I can say this, sight unseen, having not seen, like, a full trailer or anything. This movie will be like Citizen Kane compared to the first Suicide Squad. I know that's your boy. I know that's one of your boys. I'm so sorry.
Who?
David Ayer.
Not really.
You seen The Tax Collector yet, by the way?
I'm waiting for it to come to streaming. Don't play. I'm waiting for it to come to streaming. I was not going to pay for it out of respect for you.
It will it will trash that movie.
Oh, yeah,
just because James Gunn is a far better director. Just period.
Just the soundtrack alone.
Again, I love End of Watch, and I think that's about it. I'm trying to think of the other David Ayer movies.
Hang on, I'll find them.
We don't have to go through this. We really don't have to. Let's just finish this list. Harsh Times, perfect example where I was like, dude, it's Christian Bale. Like, of course this is going to be great. And I was like, what the fuck happened, man? Him and Freddie Rodriguez, remember that one?
Dude, I love that movie.
You know,
He's the first one to do that. To do that white boy.
Very different definitions of love. I would probably rewatch it.
I've watched it like 3 times.
Me to, please.
My favorite bit is when he does the Fury.
I still have never seen Fury, admittedly.
But I don't even know if
people
he
love that
directed
movie.
that. So
he did direct Fury.
Well, because but
it didn't occur to me because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we get back to the Suicide Squad?
Sure.
Just to remind people how many fucking people are in this movie: Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, Peter Capaldi, Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, Alice Braga, Pete Davidson, Taika Waititi,
yes,
Nathan Fillion,
yes,
Storm Reed, Steve Agee, and of course Sean Gunn. You can't make a James Gunn movie without a Sean Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's the slightly revamped / sequel reboot. I don't know what of Suicide Squad from a couple years ago, which was a movie that, again, based on the trailers, oh my god, this is gonna be like the best DC movie yet, and was literally one of the worst superhero movies I have ever seen. It's pretty much trash.
But was it better than Wonder Woman 84?
See, and that's where you all of a sudden make me go like, do I hate Wonder Woman 84?
Yeah,
do I feel
the
that strongly about it? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you this. From what I've seen of this,
we're definitely going to talk Suicide Squad.
I mean, I'm going to try and see it in theaters if I can.
Yeah, we can do it.
I mean, they're already, I mean, if you're listening to this in real time a couple days ago, I don't know when you're going to put it out, but they've already said, like, the next round of vaccines, we're not holding back. We're going to give them to people who are going to be, like, quick. So, like, hopefully by at least summertime, the big 3 decide, all right, we'll have some limited.
By summertime, the living will be slightly easy. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Rodney will be on the microphone.
With Ross MG?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it'll be a hot town, summer in the city.
Back of my back of my net, baby. The back of my neck, dirt and gritty.
Do you know the Love and Spoonful came to Sumter last year?
I love those bands. They're just like, we just play county fairs now. We're totally happy with our lives.
Yep. It's like, yeah, you guys are doing it, man. You're still doing it. You must really love music.
I saw the Guess Who.
Yeah.
No bullshit. I saw the fucking the one guy who's still alive and a bunch of other guys, maybe relatives. I saw the fucking Guess Who at a county fair around here, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Shit was wild, man.
Yeah, dude. Okay, we're almost done. October 1st. Dude.
Finally.
Again.
The spice must flow.
Again, in contention right now because it's a legendary release. Regardless, this is a see it in the theater, man. We saw Blade Runner together, and we will see this together.
Right.
But I'm also going to force you, either before or after, to fucking watch David Lynch's Dune.
I've watched David Lynch's Dune twice.
Okay.
On my own accord.
Yeah, but you could barely talk about it when we try to record those episodes. So you're gonna have to watch it.
Because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, "There's Harkonnens.
He explains
it's Game of
everything
Thrones.
to you. That's the thing that people have an issue with, is that it's so expositional. It's not hard to follow. You just gotta stick with it.
Right.
It's a lot, but it's all there.
Right.
It all tracks. And again, I'm not trying to preemptively shit on this movie, but go on YouTube and watch the side-by-side trailer comparison of David Lynch's Dune versus Denis Villeneuve's, and tell me which movie you want to see more.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
All of the aesthetic and design choices of Lynch, comparatively speaking, where I'm just like, the first trailer, and people were amped on it, and I was like, why is this so fucking washed out? Where's the, why is that gray, oppressive future? Why the fuck does it have to look like this? But I know we're not seeing everything, but then go look at David Lynch's Dune, dude. It looks insane. It's so much fun. And I guarantee you, nobody in this new one will be giving performances nearly as interesting as every single individual actor in David Lynch's Dune, who are all captivating in their own unique ways. And I love Stellan Skarsgård. Trust me. but there's no way he's gonna hold a candle as Harkonnen, dude. That guy in the original,
Fucking
be
wild.
spit in your face just a little bit. That shit,
Yes.
dude.
That shit, yeah.
One of the grossest human beings in a movie I've ever seen. It's so great at it. Okay. We're going to watch it, obviously. We're excited. Yeah. October 1st. Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Stellan Skarsgård, as mentioned. Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, Zendaya is in there. Jason Momoa.
I was going to say, you don't forget Momoa.
Javier Bardem. Okay.
Oh, forgot about him in that first trailer.
Great cast. Still would argue the Lynch
stacked.
cast is better, but whatever. We don't have to get into it now. We can have this debate as soon as the movie comes out.
All right, what else you got?
I'm just saying, the funny thing to me is, like, even he would be like, I don't even like that one. Like, it's my worst, but he, like, disowns it.
Yeah.
He would be like, what? No, I'm sure this other one's going to be way better.
Yeah, please.
He also said there's no fucking way he'll watch it because just thinking about Dune is so painful because he's like, I did not get.
There's not enough amount of like transcendental meditation he can do to chill out after having to watch it. Yeah, I get it.
And I also think he like specifically doesn't want to watch it because it's like, well, then you have to like fucking deal with everybody asking you like your take on it for the next year of interviews.
Right.
You should just be like, no, I'm not going to see it, so you can't ask me about it and leave me alone. November 19th, we have a true story drama called King Richard.
Interesting.
Stars Will Smith, John Bernthal, Dylan McDermott, and Dermot Mulroney. What?
Just in the movie? Oh, damn it! No.
Dude, the world will explode if they.
Yeah, they can't be.
They've definitely been in a movie together.
I don't think they have, man.
I don't know. We should do that cast.
Unless somehow Dylan McDermott was in Young Guns, I don't think that's happened.
I don't know. Tony Goldwyn is in here though.
Carl.
For reals. Carl from Ghost. Yeah. This dude looks like Carl from Ghost. Okay.
Oh, man. Love you, Brendan.
Okay. What's it about, you man?
Yeah, I want to know, because it doesn't sound like anybody would from the King Richard I'm thinking of.
It's about Richard Williams, father of Venus and Serena.
Oh, okay.
Played by Will Smith.
Okay.
King Richard. Because you know he was a tough motherfucker.
Of course.
I don't even know that much about their
neither.
backstory. But I do know that this guy was like,
he like wasn't Joe
with
Jackson
an iron
level.
fist, I believe. I don't know about abuse or anything like that. No, I'm just saying. Like,
No, I'm mean, like
he made them into
right
the athletes that they are essentially through rigorous training and work ethic and all of that. And it probably got a little intense at times, etc. Right. But yeah, that's old Will Smith's Oscar play for next year. Yeah, and I'm weirdly way more excited about this one than like I didn't see Concussion.
Gemini Man.
I still haven't seen Gemini Man.
I didn't see that one with him and Margot Robbie. I wanted to see that look.
And I've heard Focus, the movie you're referring to, is really good.
That's what I have. That's what everybody said was like. It's pretty good. I'm like, all right. Well, I guess I got to see it.
Maybe we should check it out at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, is this the last one on the list? Oh, we have a few, we don't know when these are happening. Okay, but the last one that we do have marked, which is not in contention as far as I know, still so crazy to me that this is even a thing, December 22nd, and I also feel like this is a placeholder title, The Matrix 4.
Huh.
Yeah. It's got to have a subtitle, right? You don't just go from Reloaded to Revolutions to 4. I'm convinced it'll be called something different.
Reboot? The Matrix rebooted? I don't know.
Rebooted makes sense, except, everybody's back except for we don't have Fishburne,
I mean, he said all he needs to say. He's done all he needs to do.
I mean, yeah, and is he dead by the third one?
No.
I mean,
he's
technically
alive.
Keanu is, as far as I don't know. I got to rewatch him for sure. But notably, Lily is not involved with this one. It's just Lana.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like that was probably like one of them was really excited for like, hey, Warner Brothers is giving us another crack at the Matrix, and Lily was probably like, you know what? I'm good.
Yep.
You go have fun.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Because
But notably, I think this is like one of the first times that they have not worked as a pair.
But didn't they come out? I thought I read something where they were basically like, yeah, this is totally like a metaphor for like being trans and trying to come out. Not, I didn't know if
Yeah, no, that all came out.
okay.
Like,
I mean, it makes
within the
sense.
last year and a half or so.
Yeah, but it makes sense, and like I can totally see it now. You know,
and it's also trying to reclaim that narrative because it's like the whole red pillification, all of that shit. That it's just like, why do people have to completely take like the absolute wrong antithesis meaning of a movie? It's like with Fight Club or something where it's like, you guys didn't get it.
Nope,
you didn't get it at all. Okay. But yeah, obviously, fucking amped, dude. There's a fourth Matrix.
Where do you even go?
Come on, dude. I don't know. All I know is Keanu has his long hair in it. I saw them on set photos, and I'm like,
okay,
he looks like John Wick with a ponytail. I'm here for it. I hope he's essentially the new. He's the new Morpheus. Like he's just waking people up.
Well,
we don't.
See, the thing is like the whole thing in the Revolution one was like, oh, you think this has happened? That you think this is brand new?
Yeah, this
has happened plenty of times before.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen again. So like, okay, I get it. So you're basically telling me now that like all the events of this, it's already predetermined. They know that like this happens every couple of years, every couple of decades. So. I mean, I had no idea that was coming.
No Larry Fishburne, no Hugo Weaving, obviously.
Yeah.
But here, new people. We got Yahya Abdul Mateen, big fan from Watchmen, and Candyman, which we'll be getting at some point this year, finally.
That's what I'm waiting for.
NPH is in this.
Ooh.
Jonathan Groff from Mindhunter's in here as well.
Okay.
Jessica Henwick, Priyanka Chopra. Yep, and it's unsurprisingly, there are literally no details about this shit. Like, I feel like we're just gonna get a trailer dropped on us sometime in the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm amped, dude. I'm way more fond of those sequels, I think, than most people are.
No, I mean, and you know what I appreciate that people forget probably is that, when you're going to see Reloaded, you have a trailer that's like, oh, in 6 months you're gonna have the end of this. Not like a Marvel of like, hey, come back for Endgame.
To my knowledge, the only movie that has ever ended with "to be concluded," which I thought was the coolest thing ever.
Yes, I don't.
Except
I can't
now,
think of anything.
It's not concluded.
Right
now that does not play quite as well. Okay, so now we are into uncharted territory. These are all to be announced.
Okay,
but they are slated for 2021. We got that Mortal Kombat movie, man.
I'm ready for it.
Haven't seen a frame from it. But
me neither.
I'm open to it. We're big fans of both of the previous theatrical outings. Ironically with Annihilation, but genuinely for the first one.
Right. I mean, hey, there was a time where you did love W.S. Anderson.
So, it's true. So James Wan is not directing the new Conjuring, but he has a new horror movie on his hands. It's called Malignant. Okay. And
this isn't...
mysterious original horror film from the mind of Conjuring creator James Wan. No details.
I thought this was another Saw iteration thing.
Malignant? I think you're thinking of Spiral, which is from the Book of Saw.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, which James Wan has nothing to do with.
Okay.
It's just like a hard reboot. Also a movie that's like, can we remake Seven 25 years later?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay. Those Who Wish Me Dead. It's the latest from Taylor Sheridan. He did is it Hell or High Water and Wind River. I like him pretty good, so we'll give it a shot. Angelina Jolie's in there, John Bernthal again, Nicholas Hoult, Tyler Perry, Aidan Gillen, and Jake Weber from Medium. You remember Medium?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I want to tell you this.
So those are all, those are.
I gotta tell you this.
Okay, hurry up, dude. I'm trying to finish this
I've never been...
There's one more.
All right, tell me that, and then I'll tell you what I want to tell you.
Okay.
You'll be proud of me.
We're definitely doing this one. Don't know when it comes out. Directed and starring Clint Eastwood.
Ooh.
We haven't talked an Eastwood movie in a long time. I think I've missed the last. I did watch Richard Jewell, but I never saw Sully. And I think there was one before that I missed too.
You didn't watch The Mule?
No, I didn't watch
The Mule is so good.
I know people love The Mule. Dude,
it's a superhero movie.
You're going to be all over this one. Based on the book of the same name, I won't name it yet, follows a one-time rodeo star and horse breeder who sets out to retrieve a young man's son from his alcoholic mother, and on the journey back forms a kinship with the young boy. The movie's called Cry Macho. And, I thought he said he was done after The Mule.
Me too.
This motherfucker.
I thought he said he was done after, way before that.
He's retired so many times already.
Right.
He's in his 90s. If this is not... Dude, I remember we thought Gran Torino was
I thought he said that's what he was done after Gran Torino.
Yeah, and he's directed 4 or 5 more movies since then.
See, and then people are like, oh, maybe he's done acting after Gran Torino. And then, of course, no, he wasn't. So, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah. But we will definitely... we'll talk about Cry Macho whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
We may make that a family affair where we all go watch it on HBO Max together.
Yeah. I just
one
remember
of the few uniting factors with
Clint Eastwood unites our family.
Yes, weirdly.
My God.
Weirdly. That's the slate. What did you want to tell me?
Just, you ask about that show Medium, and I was like, you know what I did? I've never watched an episode, but I read the descriptions of Felicity season 2 that was in your box.
Because I love that it was just the second
just
season.
season 2. And I gotta say, I might have missed something with that show. I think I need to go check it out.
You know that's J.J. Abrams.
It is, yes, and that's one of the things I missed. But even if he didn't write everyone, whoever wrote the descriptions on there, perfect, man. I'm like, do I want to sell it?
Intrigued.
Do I want to? Yeah, very intrigued.
You're like, should I just look on any streaming service? Because I'm sure somebody has Felicity.
I'm
all
sure.
Of the seasons.
Well, right
I don't
now
think
I
you
just
need to keep the physical.
Well, no, right now I just need season 1. I've got 2, and then I can figure out whatever comes afterwards later. But yeah, I was.
You are aware there's 13 seasons of that show, right?
What?
I'm totally kidding. Okay. Did they get canceled after she changed her hair? Or
that
something?
was the second season, sophomore year. She cuts her hair. You mean you sound like no?
Stuff that is buried in my brain that I'm just like, guys, can we dump this and make room for anything else? I've never watched a second of Felicity. Why do I know?
Because it was
that
such a
JJ had anything to do with it, that she cut her hair, that Scott Foley was on that show. Why do I need to retain
and the other
that?
one, the Scott Speedman from the Underworld movies, he was on it too.
They had 2 Scotts?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Scott Speedman. Maybe
Scott Foley.
Scott Foley, the bad guy from Scream 3, yes.
Yeah, Roman.
Yeah, Scott Speedman, the guy from the Underworld movies. I'm telling you.
They're both in there?
Yes.
Or one of them?
Both of them.
Okay.
He's on the cover.
So 2 Scotts, motherfucker. That's what I just said.
Are you mad that they took our show name? Is that what you're trying to... Should they call it 2 Scotts?
2 Scotts. My name is Scott, like the tissue.
Yeah, that's Scott Speedman, is it not? No. The younger man?
Yeah, it's both of them.
Yeah, I told you it's both.
I'm surprised they didn't make them hey...
One of you's got to change your name.
SAG rules. What are you?
There's 4 seasons, Noah. There's 4 seasons of Felicity. And this was one of those that came out. It was such a big deal because, it was in the zeitgeist. People talked about it. Oh, my God, she cut her hair. And I'm like, if that happened now, we would know when she cut her hair because of social media. And people would be buzzing, what's it for? Not, oh, my God, she cut her hair on this season of television. It's so weird how stuff like that permeates because, I remember that. And when I read it, Felicity cuts her hair to shed this. I'm like, oh, this is when it happened. I was so excited. You should have
just gone and watched that episode, removed of all context.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. Okay.
You know what Mom's been doing?
Yes.
Mom's been sending me screenshots of famous actors in ER episodes as she watches them. She sent me Jessica Chastain a day ago.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, look who else I found. Aaron Paul. I'm like, oh.
She's rewatching ER?
I guess. Yeah,
I think she would have told me when she started because that would have been fun to do in parallel.
Yeah, just to call her up. We should have called her up and checked in on her in the episode. So what'd you watch? What episode did you watch? Because I told her, I'm
the only drama that's that long from that era that I would ever go back to.
Yeah.
Just because it's all in there.
Yeah.
When they used to run it on TNT.
Oh, dude.
Like,
You could track when they restarted because you're like, oh, wait, okay, Lucy just showed up. All right, we've got some time. And then
dude.
you're like, wait a minute, there's a party. There's a Halloween party? Uh-oh.
They would show them in the mornings usually.
Right.
And then I think maybe there was some in the evenings as well, but I would always like, oh, we're getting close to the fucking party episode.
Yeah.
Is it New Year's when that goes down?
It's Halloween. It's a Halloween party. Because isn't it Krumholtz? Krumholtz stabs her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wicked, dude.
And then like that whole storyline has ramifications for like the rest of the show.
Like two seasons later, they bring him back that like, oh, he shouldn't have been charged. He's a schizo. And like Carter, I remember like he goes in, he's like, oh God, he takes a pain pill, but then goes and throws it up. And then he goes and tells what's her face, hey, I did it. I got to go. Like I got to get out. I'm like, this finale payoff is paying dividends 2 years down the road, dude. It's that David E. Kelly magic, man. What are you going to do?
Okay.
Get your heart out, Grey's Anatomy. Sorry.
Never seen an episode.
Me neither,
Not
dude.
gonna shit on
Me
Greys.
neither.
Don't want to piss off the gray heads. What do they call them? What are Shonda Rhimes people?
Oh, I don't know. I call them lost in the sauce because they
okay.
they get wrapped up in everything Chandra does,
Gotcha.
and just they go with it. Which God bless them, because that woman can write some television. I'll give her that.
Oh yeah. Okay, I made a brief list.
Okay.
And here's the weird thing is I don't have the dates because I was just throwing them together because I thought you were doing a list as well.
No, just give me
I was
the
going to tell
names.
you something I'm excited about.
Yeah, go for it.
We got a movie called Rebel Ridge.
Okay.
This was if I'm doing them in order, this is my number 10. No release date yet, but it is in post-production. Thinking we'll finally get it this year. Rebel Ridge is the latest from Jeremy Saulnier.
Oh, okay.
Looking for a strong comeback after being slightly underwhelmed by Hold the Dark, but absolutely love Blue Ruin. Green Room is a masterpiece. His new one,
Blue Ruin.
we talked about this briefly. What?
Blue Ruin. That's where he kills the dude. And
Such an excellent plot description of so many movies.
And then he cuts his hair, and like he's on the run, and he goes back to his sister.
It's a revenge movie that starts with the
Right, yeah, I
execution
saw
of the
that
revenge, and
shit,
then is all
yeah.
about the fallout afterwards, as opposed to building to it.
Yeah, dude, the shit at the end when he was like in the house with them.
Can we not? Literally, not that many people have seen that movie. Why do you have to jump to the ending? Jesus Christ.
I'm being vague as possible, man.
All right, this is a high velocity. Rebel Ridge, to be specific, is a high velocity thriller that explores systematic American injustice through bone-breaking action sequences, suspense, and dark humor. We talked about this briefly on a previous episode. I know we did, because I gave you that exact description. James Cromwell's in this movie. James Badge Dale.
Yeah, okay, that
Don
name.
Johnson.
Yes.
And John Boyega.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pumped. I hope it's good. We don't have a date yet. Okay. Also don't have a date for No Sudden Move. It's the latest from one of my favorites. We don't talk about him enough on our end of things. I don't even know how you feel about the guy. Steven Soderbergh, hardest working man in movies. Hardest working director in
I thought
movies.
he was done. I thought he was done a while back too. Didn't somebody say like after this he was done?
He's probably said it a couple times, but no, he'll never quit. Can't do it. Can't step away. No Sudden Move. A group of criminals that are brought together under mysterious circumstances and have to work together to uncover what's really going on when their simple job goes completely sideways. You know, a kind of whatever description, right? Listen to this lineup, buddy. Matt Damon.
Ooh.
Brendan Fraser.
What?
Who's gonna have a bit of a comeback this year. The Fraser-sance. Write it down. He's also in the new Aronofsky movie called The Whale, about a 600-pound man who cannot leave his home.
They made that already with Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Aviator?
No,
Where are you going
what's
with
eating
this
Gilbert
joke?
Grape? His mom couldn't leave her house. I'm just a joke, dude. Come on, really?
You're spoiling one of my rewatches.
Okay.
You piece of shit. Okay. Noah Jupe, up and comer. He's in Honey Boy, The Undoing.
Yeah, I like him.
Kieran Culkin. Maybe my favorite Culkin now. Weird to say. I don't know if you've watched Succession.
I have not watched it, but I've been around while episodes are on, and I'm like, oh, I like him.
I mean, I already was like in love with him after Scott Pilgrim, but
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to let you know.
Let me finish this cast. Excuse me. John Hamm,
Okay.
Don Draper himself,
Yes.
David Harbour, Benicio del Toro.
Say no more.
But I will.
Please,
I said
but, like-
Benicio del Toro. Did you catch that?
I did.
Ray Liotta, Don Cheadle, Julia Fox from Uncut Gems.
Where are Brad and George? Where are Brad and George, Noah?
Amy Simons, who directed one of my favorite movies of last year. She dies tomorrow. I saved the big gun for last. Fucking Bill Duke's in this movie.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
Remind me
you don't
to
want to see that immediately.
Remind me to tell you Bill Duke in one of my rewatches. I think you'll appreciate it.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, it's not a rewatch. It's a first. Excuse me.
If you did not watch High Flying Bird, which is still available on Netflix, it'll be there forever. It was one of two Soderbergh. He's done three. No, yeah, one of two Soderbergh movies that he's done for Netflix. Fantastic. It's got Andre Royo from Moonlight and Castle Rock. I don't know if you ever watched Castle Rock, but Bill Duke is in it, and he has like 2 or 3 scenes, and just kills the whole time, dude. Just every second he's on screen, you're just like, this guy's a fucking, like, what an actor, dude.
Yeah.
I love Bill Duke. Okay. So that's No Sudden Move. Again, no release date. Just pumped for it. Now we're getting into ones I think I have release dates for on most of this. My number 7 most anticipated, or my number 8 rather, is called The Killing of Two Lovers. Okay. Slated for February 23rd right now. I think this is going to be a VOD kind of day and date thing. It's technically a 2020 movie. Again, I don't know if this will play for awards consideration. Not really sure. Really didn't know much about it other than the title sounded interesting. I kept seeing it on release date slates. And then I went and watched the trailer, and I was like, this feels like it was made for me. I'm so in for it already. Great trailer. Go check it out. David desperately tries to keep his family of 6 together during a separation from his wife. They both agree to see other people, but David struggles to grapple with his wife's new relationship. And the movie is called, again, The Killing of Two Lovers. Okay? Here's the thing, and the thing I keep seeing in all of the reviews, because I believe it played Sundance, if I'm not mistaken. This is, oh, by the way, this is a Neon release. Again, Neon, A24 Neon's coming for you. That's all I'm saying, dude. Every new Neon movie, I'm just like, dude, fucking inject it into my veins. Yeah, watch the trailer for this one. I think you will be like, what? It's one of those. I cannot wait.
Okay.
It's The Killing of Two Lovers, and we supposedly get it at the end of February. Okay. Many Saints of Newark, already mentioned. It's going to be an HBO Maxer. Moving right along to Last Night in Soho.
Ooh.
This was on my most anticipated last year.
Yeah.
This is the new Edgar Wright, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Matt Smith, Thomas M. McKenzie, the great Diana Rigg, Terrence Stamp, a bunch of other people. A young girl, passionate about fashion design, is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s where she encounters her idol, a dazzling wannabe singer. But 1960s London is not what it seems, and time seems to fall apart with shady consequences. It's fucking Edgar Wright, man. Literally unbroken streak. Dude has not made a bad movie his entire career. And I'm sure it will remain unbroken. The Anya Taylor-Joy love is at an all-time high post Queen's Gambit. I cannot wait for this one. Still disappointed we didn't get it last year. April 23rd is the slated date. And again, I don't know if that's got, theaters, I guess. VOD, I don't know. Some of these are still up in the air. One that is still up in the air was supposed to come out like a couple months before the pandemic hit. Or excuse me, supposed to come out in March or April, I think. The French Dispatch from my boy Wes Anderson. Where is it? What happened to it? Please tell me where I can see it. Like, oh, come on, man. We don't have to reiterate that one. It's pretty much, hey, every person that you love that's in his movies, and then he added 10 more. That's what happened with this one.
Maybe it's in the same can that Chuck Hank and the San Diego Twins.
Shut up, dude. Will you let me do a list? Will you let me finish one list?
Finish
Will
a
you let
list.
me fucking finish one list?
Is that a big surprise? Did I just spoil something?
No, not necessarily. But it was, my number one most anticipated movie because we
It's
are
everybody's.
getting it this year. We are.
Noah.
It's happening.
Noah. If I
Dude, you haven't seen the updates. I don't know if you follow Evan Glodell on Instagram. He's back in. Dude, it's happening. I know I told you September, and you were like,
I don't.
well, baby. That's why I'm not saying a word to you until it's out. I'm not saying anything else about it, but it is still my most anticipated movie. And it has been for what? When did Bellflower come out? Is it 2009?
I'm gonna naked eyes you
No,
right now.
2011.
Noah.
Excuse me. When was what?
I'm gonna naked eyes you right now. You made me promises, and it hasn't happened. So don't make them again if you can't deliver.
I'm not making promises.
Okay,
promises.
all right, okay.
I'm not making promises, but it is coming out this year. Therefore, it is my most anticipated.
Okay, it better.
Okay. This one, I put it high on my list. It's my number 4 most anticipated, but this is a true up in the air. When it happens, it happens. But I am fingers crossed that 2021 is the year that we finally get How Do You Live, the latest from Hayao Miyazaki.
Okay.
He's been working on it for quite a while. The man is 80. Just had his 80th birthday a couple days ago. I would like for him to finish this and not have to have it finished posthumously. I also hope that he somehow lives to be 120 because he's the greatest. He's the fucking best. So, good diet. He stays active. It could happen. I think he could definitely make it to 100.
We all know that it's the sake from the mountains that does it. Do you know that Dad's buddy Ace is still alive and kicking? No question.
That's
he's
so wild to me to think about.
Yes.
But so how old is Ace?
Ace was 60 when we were there.
And we were kids, so he's got to be almost 90.
If not 95, yeah, he's up there.
That gives me hope. Shout out to Ace. That would be so cool.
He's still alive and kicking.
Listening.
I promise you.
That's incredible.
Him and
but I think
buddy Tony.
This might be the year. They are always very careful to not set a date. They're just it's finished when it's finished. Whenever he says it's finished, it's finished. But they've gotten more active on social media because they're on HBO Max now. They're becoming more international.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that are still discovering them for the first time. So Ghibli has a bigger presence right now, and they literally said they were like, it's Miyazaki's birthday. He's doing well. Thank you for inquiring. No COVID. Don't worry about it. And he is working every single day on How Do You Live, which is literally about a young boy learning how the fuck do you live life, which is just and I think it's the one still that exists from it right now. I'm if the whole movie looks like this, oh God, can't wait. So pumped. That's my number 4 most anticipated. Another one that has no date right now, but it is in post. The Souvenir Part 2. Souvenir was my number 2 movie 2 years ago, I believe. I think so.
Okay.
So that would have been 2018. Right?
Right.
Or 2019.
2019 if we're doing 2 years ago.
Oh, God damn it. I gotta look it up. Sorry for all the cursing. It was 2019.
Yeah.
Souvenir. Amazing movie. Joanna Hogg is her follow-up to it. It's the continuing adventure of the character from The Souvenir. Go back and listen to that episode. Go watch that movie. I think it's still on Amazon Prime for free. It's incredible. It's one that, again, I will remind people, you'll hear me rant and rave about it if you listen to any prior episodes. It may not hit you in the same way, but one of those that I was did not expect for this to just burrow deep into my soul, but it completely did. So I can't wait for part 2. Again, it's in post. Another movie we know is shot, and I believe in the can. Don't know how long the editing process is going to be. This is my second most anticipated. I already said Chuck Hanks, so technically this is the last one that we'll discuss. Right now it's known as Soggy Bottom. Definitely think that title's going to change. It's the new PTA movie. It's set in the 70s in California. Bradley Cooper's in it, and another father-son switcheroo, like we talked about with Many Saints of Newark. Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is going to be playing the lead character, from what I understand. And of course, that was kind of his muse. So the fact that his kid is now part of the oeuvre, I'm really intrigued. But yeah, seen some footage of them filming during the pandemic. I think this one was pretty much entirely shot during the pandemic. But yeah, theoretically, I think we get this one as a fall release, and it, anytime he makes a movie, it's like, okay, is it Oscar contention time, or is this going to be an Inherent Vice where it's like, well, some people love it, some people hate it, but it's not an awards movie,
right?
And based on the description, sounds like way more of a chill, more back in the direction of Inherent Vice, less Phantom Thready. But I love all the shades of PTA, so there you go. So yeah, technically, because again, we know Chuck Hank is happening.
We say
Soggy
so.
Bottom is my most anticipated.
I will believe Chuck Hank when I see it.
Yeah. Okay. We did the HBO Max slate. We got some ones we're definitely going to talk about. We did that. Now, tell me what you've been watching. An hour and 20 minutes into this episode.
So I got two new ones. Three.
We're talking movies or television?
No,
you want to do some TV?
No television. I haven't really watched any television.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. I got 6 new ones. They're not brand new, but they're new to me.
Okay.
And I got a couple of my main rewatch, Karate Kid Part 2.
Hell yeah, it's on my list as well.
Another main rewatch, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Hell yeah. I watched it at some point. Again, quarantine's a complete blur. I watched it at some point last year.
Yeah, it was up there. I watched the first one. Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
Is that the best third movie in a franchise ever?
I said it to myself as I was watching it. I wonder.
I can't think of a better one.
What other?
Please throw one out at me. But
I can't. What third movie outdoes the other two?
I mean, some people might fight you for saying that. I definitely,
this
was another one similar to an Ocean's sort of situation. I definitely watched Die Hard with a Vengeance on VHS for like probably
years.
Yeah, probably like a year straight. Just like I'm gonna throw this on as I'm laying down.
And this is what I was thinking about it
throughout the week.
I think that Die Hard movies work best when they are not. There's no source material, because Nothing Lasts Forever, the book, obviously, is the original Die Hard. And then the second one, which I went back and watched, and taking it out of the second, I enjoy the second one every time I go back to it more and more.
I like all of them except for
a good
the fifth one, which is horrible.
Right, and that
which is just atrocious.
No, it's the worst. But
yeah, we even like Live Free or Die Hard, which a lot of people were kind of lukewarm on. But in the theater with
Mom,
it's not.
But again, both of those, like that and Vengeance, are not Die Hard movies. They are always start out as something else, and then they become this.
And I think they did that for the fifth one as well. And it's just like you guys just picked a bad script,
right?
Like,
yeah,
you picked like a Liam Neeson.
Yeah, no. If that's basically Liam Neeson in doing that, then it's a complete. It would
be better,
and it would come out in January.
But it's the fact that it's John McClane. You're just like, this does not.
No, it doesn't.
1 does not equal 2 here. What's going on?
And again, he's best when he's played against. There's no one for him to play against. That's it.
Yeah.
Because it's his son. There's no comedic angle. Like you got the Justin Long, and then you got the Sam Jackson, who's like the back and forth with that.
If you really want to resurrect the franchise, if you want to get him away from doing Die Hard battery commercials, have you seen those?
Those are awesome. I love them. I love them more than I love Good Day to Die Hard.
Agreed. Weirdly agreed.
Yes.
But if you really want to get everybody reinvested, you bring back Sam Jackson's character.
Yeah.
Why is his name escaping me right now?
Jesus.
He keeps calling him Jesus.
Yeah.
Zeus Carver. Yeah.
As in Father Apollo,
he said, "Hey, Zeus.
My name is Zeus.
Oh, don't fuck with me or I'll shove a lightning bolt up your ass." Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Willis is pretty much fully checked out by 5. He's in the process of checking out during 4, like
Right.
during the Kevin Smith scenes.
He's phoning it in.
Yes. But 5, he is completely
The phone is down.
elevated. He's separated from his body. But if you bring in Sam Jackson, he's like,
Literally,
I got to do it for Sam.
No,
I got to
literally
like
give
step
him,
up my
no,
game.
just
I got to actually give a shit about this.
give
one.
him anybody to play against. That's the thing. Think about all
But
of the.
But do you hear what I'm saying? They tried to pair him. Now, granted, Jai Courtney is about as compelling as I was going to be really mean, but I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm not crazy about the guy. I thought he was okay as Captain Boomerang. I haven't really seen him do much else.
He was in the
Whatever.
the Jack Reacher
All right.
and Die Hard.
I like him on Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
10 years later. I'll give him that. Okay. There's no chemistry happening there. And I feel like in general, based on what we know about Willis, dude, if you pair him with somebody younger or an up and comer, like he's just gonna dominate him. Like he's gonna take all the good lines for himself. He's not gonna want to play ball or whatever. But you put somebody of equal stature, if not greater. It's fucking Sam Jackson. Definitely bigger movie star than Willis is at this point, and consistently so.
Wait, what if you did Nothing Lasts Forever, the novel, but you have him realize he's in a fucking Die Hard movie? He's like, wait a minute, this feels familiar. He's at another skyscraper going to see his daughter, and random ass terrorists take over, and he's like,
So it's like a soft reboot of the original?
but it's like he knows what's going on. He's like, it's like I don't know. How do you,
But we just make it meta? Then
yeah, why not, dude? Why not go full meta?
I don't know. I think we just let it die. I think we just let it die.
It's gonna be kind of hard. I know. No. What do you do when every franchise is in peril? Put it on a cruise ship. Put it on a cruise ship.
So Speed was in peril immediately.
Yes.
They were like, we are fresh out of ideas.
Yes.
Give me some leeches and Willem Dafoe and Jason Patrick, I guess.
What's he doing?
We'll figure something out.
Is Keanu coming back? Oh, he's not. He's not. Okay. He's got
Can we
other things
just
to do.
say that Jason Patrick? No, people are not going to accept that. You need to make it a different thrill-seeking cop.
Yes. And she is she still no, yes, she's definitely done dating him. She doesn't want to date action guys, and that'll be like some fun foil. Like, oh my god, oh sorry Annie, I do thrill seeking stuff on motorcycles too. Yeah,
Poor Jason Patrick.
he gets a raw deal and some stuff,
It's a raw deal on a lot of stuff.
but he's
A shout out though to Boba Fett in that movie.
oh yeah,
Forgot about that for a second.
did, didn't you?
He is kind of like the third,
Deckhand?
fourth lead,
third
yeah.
deckhand, yeah.
He's definitely, you always got to have a buddy in the. He's the Al Powell of that movie.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
He's the Reginald Val Johnson.
Which,
Speed
no,
2,
wait,
Cruise Control.
Wait a minute. Would you not argue that
He's the Jeff Daniels.
Would
what?
you not argue that the guy that takes photos, the photographer kid, is that not his?
That's his sidekick?
I mean, they do more stuff together, don't they?
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a bit.
Me neither.
I remember a lot of Tamora Morrison helping out with shit towards the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I remember him getting cut in the arm. I remember throwing
the deaf girl,
right.
sign language, and you're like, Jason Patrick, man. I love this
This
guy.
fucking guy. He just when is he in a bad movie?
See, we're already slipping into a 2x2 retro.
We are, man.
That's how
All
excited
right,
we are to
let me.
get to it.
Let me give you my new stuff real quick.
Dude, I'm listening.
All right. So I told you I watched that Joel the Clash documentary. I watched the Damned documentary after that.
Hell yeah.
But in between those two, I completely forgot about this. And I don't know if I'm glad I did or not, but I watched England Is Mine.
Yeah, you were really amped on it when it came out, but you
And
never watched it.
I forgot it. And it's so weird because every promotional thing I have,
It's so weird because, I hate Morrissey
I
now.
do hate Morrissey. I don't really, and that's the thing is I get it. He's pompous. He's a son of a bitch. He's an asshole. Fuck him.
Yeah.
But
He sucks.
the guy that's playing him, I think he's pretty good at just acting in general. Because despite everything in that movie, I kind of would want to hang out with that dude.
Yeah.
And I love the kid that played Johnny Marr. And if all of that is relatively true to form, like playing a show, oh my God, I hit the big time. Well, no, they just want your buddy, the guitar player. I mean, the movie ends with him. What is this? Let me see this. What have you showing me here? Okay, that meme works. I get it.
The meme in question, I do sometimes forget that this is an audio medium,
format, yeah.
Is I forget what British comedy this is taken from. I'm not sure, honestly. But it's two Nazis, and one of them is giving a Heil Hitler, and the one giving the Heil Hitler says Morrissey, and the awkward one standing next to them, not really into it. It says someone trying to enjoy the Smiths' music. It's pretty solid meme.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you had to do with it, but I enjoyed because it's this weird. It's got this weird like this is a superhero origin story vibe. Because like all the promotion stuff has him in that tan coat with that hair, and like the movie ends with him just knocking on Johnny Marr's door in that outfit, and you're like, oh. This was an origin story for Morrissey.
And the band began.
It's right, dude, because it's like literally Ian Curtis.
Does it have the music?
None whatsoever.
Dude, I don't understand why people, when you go to get the license and they're like, you know what, based on your script or your treatment or your pitch, no, I'm not giving you the music. Guess what? Movie over. Don't make it.
Right.
Every time they make one of these without the music, there's no point. And when has it ever worked? When has it ever worked?
Right. The only one that I think works and it's perfect is Control. It's the best.
Does Control not have Joy Division music in it?
It has them playing their first show. It has him writing everything. And that's the thing. It has the entire life and arc of Ian Curtis, including performances. And the people, Sam Riley sings his own songs. That's why it's the best of these. I don't know how many there are, but like the best of these English singer, they have it.
That's what
works. Yeah, it works.
That's what I'm saying.
When you don't have it,
there is no example of not having access to the licensing of the music, even if it's not using it in the movie. I'm not even saying that, but he can't sing any Smith songs in the movie, right?
Listen, I don't know.
He can just say England is mine a bunch, or it's gonna be mine.
Right. Well, see, the song that he does sing in his first iteration of singing, because they talk about, he's all nervous, he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know if that was a Smith song. It became one. It doesn't sound like one I've ever heard. Might have been an original
song for the movie.
I have no idea. But
so weird, dude.
But it's just, again, if you just knowing that like he doesn't do any Morrissey type stuff, and he just shows up at Johnny Marr's door in that tan coat and the coiffed hair, you're like, oh, he's got it now. He's Superman now. Let's go make the best, whatever. Like, let's go smash it on top of the pops and become this weird poppy, whatever, musical genre icon that like people talk about to this day, but not for good reason sometimes because the lead singer's a cunt. But,
Yeah.
I watched England Is Mine. Anyway, let's see.
Hard pass for me. Pass.
I watched this documentary about skin in the film industry that's on Hulu, talking about going all the way back to like the nudies of the late 1800s, early 1900s, into like what was acceptable, the Hays Code, all that. Breaks it down bit by bit.
I heard of this thing called the internet.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, what? I'm curious. What are you talking about, sir? Another thing I watched that I think you would enjoy if you haven't ever seen it, I watched Action Jackson with Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers? I don't think I've seen it.
Dude,
I know the cover.
Dude,
definitely know the cover.
It is so wild. It is so wild. Bill Duke is his police sergeant. They met
So that's not what you're giving me for 2x2 Retro Review?
No, it's not, because it didn't come out in January. I'm sorry. But it's great.
It's always next month. Are we making that the rule?
Oh, no, I just said because it was dump months and we don't know what we want to do. Let's just make it January for fun. Plus, it's my birthday. Why not? My birthday is a dump month.
You love dumps, So what are you going to do?
Dude, especially the Staten Island dump. Are you kidding me? She was my favorite on that show.
King of Staten Island, free on HBO Max.
I did see that. Yeah, no, I saw that.
I'm sure Gavin's going to rewatch it.
And the last brand new one that I watched is Pieces of a Woman on Netflix. Pretty rough. Would not recommend.
good movie, but
Very
tough to
good
get
movie.
through. That's
I
yeah.
literally listen. I literally saw that Shia LaBeouf was in it, and I started. Did not know anything about it, and oh wow, this took a turn. And then like,
How are we feeling about Shia these days?
I like Shia, bro. I can't. I mean, what do
I
you?
mean,
You still have some stain from the tax collector. Obviously, he must have
I
robbed
was
you
just
blind.
like so on board after Honey Boy and Peanut Butter Falcon to be like, dude, you've redeemed yourself. I love you. You're back. And then all these FKA Twigs things, dude. You haven't read any of this shit?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
He's been accused of assault by her former girlfriend, FKA Twigs, the singer. I'm not familiar with her. I don't listen to her music.
Mm-hmm.
I think she dated Pattinson for a while too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he has like court filings against him right now, and Olivia Wilde, who he was about to be in her next movie, dropped him based on that and the fact that he was fighting with the crew prior to, like, I think during production or whatever. But he's just been, again, it was like, dude, I thought you like got your shit together, and then again, assault charges, bad behavior,
He's a tortured
etc.
artist, dude. He's just a tortured artist. He's not going to.
I know.
We're
just
all
saying,
in the
but
movie of his life, and the movie of his life is, can he get it together? That's it.
I understand that, dude. But at a certain point, I'm like, dude, I've been invested in you getting your shit together for like over a decade, and I don't know at what point my patience runs out for some of that shit. Read the stories if you want to, dude. I don't know. I have more complicated feelings about him now. Notably, they have like they scrubbed his name from like all sorts of Oscar consideration for this movie that you're referring to, for Pieces of a Woman. Based on what I knew about the description alone, I was like, if I'm being real, dude, I got enough sudden infant death syndrome in I Know This Much Is True last year on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty. Enough for, enough to last me for a while. And that was really the first time since the SIDS episode
Of ER.
Of ER,
With
honestly.
John Goodman?
So, I forget who the dad is in that one.
I thought it was John Goodman.
Because it's Bradley Whitford is the dad when Mark loses the baby.
Right.
But that's not SIDS.
No.
I don't think it's John Goodman, bro. It's
either
somebody else.
Is it Dan Lauria? Dan Lauria?
Dan Lauria from...
Wonder Years. Is he the dad from Wonder? It's some bigger gentleman who's a father and is talking about SIDS. I can't remember.
I forget too.
Me too.
But anyways, so knowing the description, and again, dude, this has Ellen Burstyn in it. One of like probably straight up my favorite actress on the planet. Still,
you know that one scene she always has in movies where she gets like her Ellen Burstyn thing where she breaks down and she gives it to you and you're just like, whoa, it's in there.
Yeah. I will work up to this one. And you know me, normally I'm like, dude, bring on the pain. Like I'm totally let's get dark. I just haven't been in the mood. And it's produced by Scorsese, dude. I mean, everything about it is directly up my alley, but I haven't worked up to this one yet. I will watch it at some point. I just had a conversation earlier this evening with Elise Schramm. She'll soon be Elise Niles, but Tim's fiance, and she watched it, thought it was fantastic. But yeah, same thing where she texted me that she was watching it, and I was like, have fun with that one, I guess. But yeah, I'll work up to it.
Is Molly Parker
We'll follow up on that one.
Who's the girl from The Leftovers?
Can you be more specific?
The one who loses the whole family.
The actress?
Yes.
Carrie Coon.
Carrie Coon. I get her and this Molly Parker chick mixed up.
Molly Parker from Deadwood?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably why. But she's in it.
Gotcha.
I
gotta watch it for the person of it all,
bit.
period.
Okay. Yeah, and that was it. That was all the stuff I had managed to get to.
My only new movie of the new year came out last year, actually. Finally got around to it because it's free on Amazon Prime now. Mystify Michael Hutchins. Have you seen this?
No.
It's about Michael Hutchins from NXS.
Yeah.
Pretty much charts it from, it's not like a Cradle to the Grave documentary necessarily, but it's definitely about, forming the band, the rise through it, but also his personal story and journey. And his different relationships over the years. They talked to like everybody he was with, and great doc. One of my favorite music docs I've seen in a while. Love NXS, love Michael Hutchence, and realized that like his death in popular culture had been completely misrepresented to me, like 100% inaccurate in the way that it was depicted and all of the circumstances surrounding it. And after watching this doc, I was just like, dude, it sounds like a weird thing to compare it to, but it's almost like the Lorena Bobbitt doc, where you're like, wait, so we just like, everybody just ran with this kind of like joke version of what happened.
Right.
And the reality is devastating. And the fact that I was like, I've loved this guy's music like since I've been a little kid, didn't know like the full on backstory or the circumstances surrounding his death, and then watching like the trajectory of it, so like heartbreaking, and so many details in it though that I'm like, I don't just want to like throw out there for you.
Well, no, I mean, because
I
like,
think you should watch it.
Well, yeah,
but,
I will, but like,
there's stuff that was the access to footage is incredible. There's stuff that's just like him and Kylie Minogue on vacation together, like just stuff they were filming, you know, of each other. It's that kind of like
play,
yeah.
dude. Like, that's amazing. I fucking love
good,
Kylie
dude.
Minogue.
Yeah.
And yeah, that his death has always been like, oh, you know, was it this, was it that, like the hanging, all that.
They don't even. What I loved about the doc too is it's like it does not even venture into discussing how the narrative has been bastardized of it. It literally just lays out for you, this is what happened in the months leading up to his death. This is what he was going through, and here's what happened specifically.
Yeah.
And it was just like, shit, dude. Like literally, how did I go, you know, over a decade at this point just thinking that like, yeah, he was like a joke or a footnote.
It's because
of that, and
it's
it just
because
yeah.
VH1 did Behind the Music, and they tell you the little heartbreaker thing about his dad being called, but then they do I Love the 90s, and somewhere in there, in that 10-part
everything's
thing,
got to be a cynical joke.
Someone made the comment, made the joke, made a reference to it, and it's just been locked in your brain that it was this thing, and it really wasn't. And that's a fucking shame. And like a lot of stuff this year, last year, we should be ashamed of ourselves. That's something even more, because
that Mystify, Michael Hutchence, great music doc. But that set me on a little trend. By the way, Amazon Prime, great spot for music related docs. There's a British series called Under Review, where they just go through an artist's career, sometimes in sections, like if they've been around for a while. Watch one of those on Kate Bush that was really good. I watched one on Bowie during the Berlin period, those 3 albums.
Interesting.
Great stuff. It's called Under Review. You can just search for Under Review on Amazon Prime. I think most of them ran in like the 80s or 90s based on the look of it. It's just like it was on British TV.
Well, that's the thing I liked about the Joe doc is like, and I don't know what it was from, but I remember watching a doc that wasn't this one, where they talk to the guy that essentially he like bumps into Joe's number, and he's like, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm this and the Clash. He's like, oh, who the fuck are you? Like, oh, you did this with the Clash. Why the fuck aren't you making music, man? Like, I'm out here doing this. What are you doing? And that led to him coming back to being the Mescaleros and like forming a band again, because some guy was like, and I mean, like, yeah, he did make the Clash. He'd done all this other stuff, but for some guy to just be like, okay, cool, but like, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
That, to me, I don't know what clip it was, but they had the guy who had bumped into him and like gave him shit about it. They were talking to him, but I don't think he was on that doc I watched. And I get that was about him, and I know there's not much you can say about the Clash, but man, that footage of him playing with Mick at the last little bit, and like, yeah, you know what it is, like that shit that melted my heart, man.
Yeah.
That was at least something that got to happen before he passed away, because I think once people watch it and realize kind of, it's like the woman in there said, you're not like a casual Clash fan. You either are a Clash fan or you're not. And I feel like people have relegated it to like, oh, it's the Rock the Catbox guys. No. There's way more than just that. Like, if you think the Clash is Rock the Casbah, like you are not a Clash fan at all. You don't like their music.
Said it before, I mean, is there any other band in history that has ever had that moniker? The only band that matters. Is there another one that's even attempted to be like, hey, we're going to do a riff on this and like, hey, we're the only band that matters. Like, nobody's done it because nobody would disrespect their name that much. But like, yeah, when you... Oh, so good, dude. Okay.
Yeah, definitely watch that doc.
I will.
Was it called Cut the Clash? Is that what it is?
There are so many Joe Strummer documentaries and Clash documentaries that I don't know which one I saved.
It's Joe Strummer Cut the Clash is one I saw. That's what I thought I saw.
We will definitely.
But that led me to the one about the Damned, dude, and that was wild, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody just knows everybody I know, you say the Damned, they don't know who you're talking about. But then if you tell them, like, you remember, like, you know, Batman Forever, there was like the Offspring, Smash It Up. Yeah, they did the original of that. They're like, oh yeah, I think I may have heard that, but that's it. They don't know any other Damned songs. And it's like, the only one I couldn't find, which I was kind of wanting, I mean, it wouldn't happen because of these two bands, obviously, but I don't know if there's any Misfit docs out there that go deep on anything with any of them.
I don't know.
But that would be an interesting thing to do.
Yeah. Maybe you should make it.
I wish I could.
Call up Glenn. I'm sure he's not busy. Or maybe he's directing another movie. Did he put out a movie last year?
No, but it's coming out. Listen.
Oh, that shit's out, dude. No, that's
listen. I listened to Devin Sawa talk to Leonard Maltin.
Uh-huh.
And he talked about doing that movie with him and Eli Roth and how batshit crazy it was, but so much fucking fun it was. It's like, I just worked with Glenn Danzig. Like, he's amazing. And at that point, when he mentions that, Leonard Maltin's daughter mentioned how, like, when this first started, they weren't enforcing 6 feet distance, so they told people they needed to stay a Danzig away because he's not fully 6 feet. But they had Glenn Danzigs on the floor of, like, stay a Danzig away from each other, which I thought was cute. But yeah, Devin Sawa doing good, man.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Fanatic yet, or whatever it's called?
No, I want to. There's something else he's got coming out that's supposed to be really good too.
Okay, I got some rewatches.
All right.
I'll run through them very quickly, and then if you got anything, let me know, and then we'll give our 2x2 recommendations and get out of here. Okay, real quick on the TV front, I'm rewatching The Leftovers.
Yes.
It's incredible. Basically, the reason I went with it, I forgot it's only 28 episodes, dude.
Yeah, it's real short.
Yeah, it's not even a full 30 because they only did 8 for the final season.
Mm-hmm.
Crushing it. Just got the season finale of the first season to get to tonight after you leave. And then I'm going to drive straight into season 2, which is just a masterwork start to finish. And then I love 3. The amount of appreciation I have for 1 has risen in this rewatch, though, because I had not touched it since it originally came out. And there's a pretty decent gap between it and season 2. I've rewatched parts of season 2. International Assassin specifically, I will just throw on every once in a while. And then 3, so this is my first time going back through it. It is one of my top 5 favorite shows of all time, and it is holding up as such on this rewatch.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Speaking of Leftovers, again, I know we would not be a podcast episode without me recommending another podcast to you, but Scott Glenn, Mark Maron.
Oh, I'm getting to it.
Gotta do it,
on
dude.
the list. Okay.
Gotta do it.
Don't spoil anything.
I'm not spoiling anything. It's one of the best ones I've listened to.
Okay. Good recommendation. Speaking of which, I just decided to kick off 2021 and just like, I'm just going to bathe myself in incredible stuff. I'm also rewatching one of my other 5 favorite shows of all time, and arguably my single favorite piece of art ever. I'm rewatching Twin Peaks: The Return.
I saw that downstairs when I got here.
Rewatching that with Veronica. Rewatching The Leftovers by myself.
Okay.
Dude, again, it's just like, oh, what am I gonna watch tonight? Another episode of The Return. Still got like 15 hours left, dude. It's great. Or, dive into Leftovers. So those are my big rewatches right now. We, of course, watched Cobra Kai season 3 together. We loved it. Have you watched any of History of Swear Words?
I watched fucking shit.
Okay. We already finished it. We did one a night since it came out. It's a ton of fun. I just want more. I just want more seasons.
Question.
What's up?
So I noticed that, like in the first episode, Nicolas Cage did the voices of the animation stuff,
That carries through.
and then Nick Offerman did the second one. So do they have like
Nick-
sort of a different person for each one, or is it just the two of them at some point?
It varies.
Okay,
but
that's
Nick
what
Cage does a lot more
Okay.
stuff overall.
Gotcha.
And he's fantastic.
Oh my god, they could not have
It's
picked a
good
better
time.
person.
It's a really good time.
And finding out that Jonah Hill has said "fuck" the most.
Dude, that blew my mind.
Me
When they were
too.
doing the list, I was like, dude, it's De Niro. Trust me, it's De Niro.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to think it's something else, but it's De Niro. And I was going with just the sheer amount that he uses it in most of the Scorsese movies and the length of those movies.
Right.
And then I was like, I forgot about Jonah Hill, who's in one of the longest Scorsese movies, which is Wolf of Wall Street.
Which does De Niro even show up in Wolf of Wall Street?
No.
Exactly.
But I'm like, if you take Wolf of Wall Street and Superbad alone, I'm like, that takes care of it, right? That puts him above.
But then
everybody.
but if you pepper in War Dogs,
Yeah. Oh my God, he's like extremely foul-mouthed in War Dogs. Yeah.
the idea that that is a true story amazes me.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
So is Joker, by the way.
Joker. with Joaquin? That Joker?
They're both Todd Phillips movies.
Oh, okay.
War
I
Dogs
get
was him starting to get serious. I was just,
I got you. No, I'm not picking
just
up what
having
you're
fun.
putting down.
Just having fun.
Hey, man.
Keeping it loose, keeping it light.
That's what we do here.
I do
I
have
appreciate you.
I do have a new show of 2021. First new show of 2021 other than Cobra Kai and History of Swear Words. History of Swear Words, I'm like, it feels weird to assign like a rating to or whatever. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no,
I
I
look
mean-
forward to more of it. But anyways, this is also on Netflix. Have you been intrigued by Lupin? Has it been getting promoted to you at all?
No.
Are you familiar with Lupin in general? The character of Lupin? Okay. Very brief. Okay. Early 1900s. The Adventures of Arsène Lupin
Sounds familiar.
by something Blanc, I forget. Maurice Blanc?
Mel?
Maurice LeBlanc, I think. French gentleman, thief turned detective.
Okay.
Character's been around, like I said, since the early 1900s.
This is just one they're tapping into now because no one has.
Well, let me finish here. It's traveled all over the globe, and it's like there's different iterations of it as well, but it's a French property.
Right.
But you may be somewhat familiar with Lupin the Third, which is Japanese manga animator Monkey Punch took the Lupin character and created Lupin the Third.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Hayao Miyazaki directed a Lupin movie. That was his
Right.
first directorial movie. There's been a billion Lupin movies, a billion series as well. It's still running to this day. There's iterations on it, etc. Okay? Very cool, very fun. Like, that's where the angle I come at it from.
Mm-hmm.
This new Netflix show is a French show, okay, which stars Omar Sy, who some people may, if you saw The Upside, the Cranston Kevin Hart movie, that was a remake of a movie called The Intouchables, a French movie from several years ago. It was a big like Oscar contender,
Okay.
big deal. Omar Sy is in that. He's been in a bunch of international productions. He's one of the more well-known French actors in the world right now, okay? So he's your lead, and he plays a character named Hassan, who grew up on the Lupin books,
Okay.
the French Lupin books, okay? So he is inspired by Lupin. He basically claims that, like, he is Lupin. But in the world of the show, these fictional books exist. This is not
I get what you're saying.
like a descendant of the character
It's
in the same
meta.
way that Lupin the Third is like just meant to be the third Lupin in the bloodline
Right.
and just happens to be Japanese and goes on all these adventures with a samurai and a like cool smoking gunman and his lady friend. But yeah, so this new one set in, modern day Paris, all sorts of cool new tech, and it's basically about this lead character Hassan trying to avenge his father, who was wronged by this powerful family, and it all centers around a necklace that may or may not be stolen, etc. So it's a heisty thriller, espionage sort of vibe.
Okay.
Very fun. Very light, but still heavier than. So I've seen like some different Lupin properties at this point. I got into them through Lupin the Third, but I've started to branch out. There's a French TV series that ran forever as well. So, yeah, check it out. It's new on Netflix. This is just part 1. We're getting part 2 in a couple months. Part 1 is just 5 episodes, and it ends on a huge cliffhanger. I really dug it. I think you would get into it. I'm not going to recommend it quite at the level of like Kingdom or The Naked Director or any of those big international productions, but as a way to kick off 2021, and if you look around, people are generally pretty hot on it right now. It's definitely worth checking out. I'm excited to see where it goes with part 2. But yeah, Lupin on Netflix. Highly recommend.
Okay.
If you're in the mood for just like a stylish French action thriller, it's a good time.
Okay.
And again, he's a gentleman thief, dude. And that's the best part. Is he's got class. He's he's not a scoundrel. He's a bit of a scoundrel, but not a huge scoundrel. So yeah, that would be a recommend. My rewatches, gonna run them down real quick for you, brother. Karate Kid Part 2, as you mentioned. We're on a kid kick. Where the Wild Things Are, the Spike Jonze version, the live action. Yep. Followed by Up. Veronica had never seen either. She, I think, really liked both. We watched Up because we had watched Soul. I explained it's Pete Docter, etc., etc. I was in the nostalgic mood, as you can tell. So I watched Dragon Ball, Curse of the Blood Rubies.
Oh.
Because I have that 4 movie pack collection, finally dipped into it.
Oh, by the way, I found every other Dragon Ball VHS you ever had in the attic.
Dragon Ball or...
Dragon Ball Z, everything. It's in the attic.
Where's the box, dog? You didn't bring it down with you?
I couldn't. It was too heavy. There's a lot of shit in there.
Man.
It's literally sitting right up there. You just got to crawl up there and drag it down. Next time you're back, I'll
gotta check it out, man.
Yeah.
Gotta check it out. Yeah. Again, this is OG Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
This was, I think, my first exposure to the franchise ever. I had this VHS when we were in Japan.
It's all those. It's the Dragon regular. He's a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all those.
Curse of the Blood Rubies, which is basically a retelling of like the first arc of like the first series, essentially.
Right.
Him meeting Bulma, Yamcha, all the gang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know. Part of me wants to be like, I don't know if I feel as strongly about it as I did. I was looking for like a nostalgia hit, and it definitely took me back. But it's also like, I think probably because I've been watching more adult.
But don't you have Double
animation in
Dragon
general.
too?
I do have Double Dragon.
Have you watched any of those yet?
These are just movies, though.
Oh, okay.
I'm not like going through the whole series. I'm not doing all 155 episodes.
Okay.
No, I'm just watching this 4 movie pack I got just to like, live in the world for a bit, but not have to commit.
Okay.
So yeah, I've only done Blood Ruby so far, though. I got 3 more in there.
Live a bit, not commit. I got it.
Office Space, only for the trillionth time. Veronica picked it. She wanted to watch it again, so that's what we did. Gavin already spoiled this one, like an hour ago. I had to find out. What's eating this goddamn Gilbert Grape? What's eating him? A lot of problems.
We do know he is a wino forever.
Here's what killed me, dude. It's on Netflix. That's part of why Veronica picked it. She'd never seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a cable movie.
Yes.
Is this not buried in your brain, like every frame of it, for some reason?
No, and I've never actually seen it all the way through. It's just what I've seen on cable.
I think you would be shocked, though, dude, because I sat and watched this, and I was like, oh, it's been at least 20 years. Surely there's stuff I don't remember about it. I remembered every single thing that happens in that movie. I remembered the shots. I remembered the music cues. I was like, how many times did I watch this as a kid? And I think it was just right in that sweet spot of like, I thought DiCaprio was like the bee's knees.
It was before you had a ton of content from him, and you couldn't. Like, you were trying to find the Growing Pains episodes that he showed.
Absolutely. Dude, I was renting like Marvin's Room with Diane Keaton.
You were This Boy's Life in it all day long.
Is that Diane Keaton and Meryl Streep?
It is Meryl Streep.
Yeah, dude. I was watching like Marvin's Room and stuff like that, and like not being able to watch the Basketball Diaries. So settling for PG-13 movies, getting away with Romeo and Juliet, stuff like that, etc. So
Basketball Diaries is dark.
Yeah, and Gilbert Grape. That's the other thing. Is I was like, surely this is rated R. Off screen and just like they edit it for television, and then I'm watching it and I'm like, oh no, it's just PG-13 and They just show the whole damn thing just as it occurs, and it takes them 3 hours to show it because it's 2 hour and change movie, but really held up. You know, I have complicated feelings about Johnny Depp these days, but this is far enough back that I really didn't care about it at all. DiCaprio, like, dude, talk about a bold choice where I'm just like, if this went wrong and was like a joke, dude, I don't know how many actors recover from that. But it's like, not only does it not hit a false note, that supporting actor nomination was richly deserved.
Yeah.
Like, he's great in this movie. Never mind the fact that, dude, I realized this when I was just looking up stuff about it, because I was like, oh shit, I forgot how much I like this. This came out like a couple months after This Boy's Life, dude. Those are the same year. And it's just like, I'm here, by the way.
Yes.
Like,
I'll be over here.
yeah.
Oh, you don't see me?
I got the ringing endorsement of Bobby D, and now I'm in a movie with Johnny Depp, like the it guy of this moment, and I'm stealing the show right out from underneath.
Oh, I can't have it yet? Okay, I'll be back in 2 years.
Dude,
with James Cameron, and
here's
we'll talk.
the thing that I had completely forgotten about, and we, of course, wouldn't appreciate at the time, but rewatching it now. Dude, John C. Reilly is his buddy?
Yeah.
Crispin Glover is his other buddy who runs the funeral home? Come on, dude. And you got Mary Steenburgen, so you have this weird, like, sort of parallel Back to the Future connection, but not really, because they were never in the same one together, you know?
Right. I forget about that. Yeah, Crispin Glover's gone up to... Oh.
They're, like, reaching out to each other from part 1 and part 3.
Speaking of Back to the Future,
yes.
Biff is a cop in Action Jackson.
Oh, dude. Why is this not your recommendation? Seriously. Okay. So yeah, Gilbert Grape holds up. Surprising. I got one more, and then my last rewatch is my my retro review recommendation.
Okay.
Last thing we watched, we were still in a it feels weird to even say a kid mood when discussing this movie, but we watched Spirited Away.
Oh, okay.
The aforementioned Hayao Miyazaki. One of those that every time I rewatch it, I'm like, is it the best thing ever? Is it the best movie ever made? It's so singular, and it's so, yet at the same time, so rich, and like the amount of depth, I think is pretty much unparalleled in terms of like, there's not many other animated movies that I can rewatch and like continue to get more layers out of it. Mm-hmm. The only other thing that's non-Miyazaki that I could even compare it to is something like Waking Life from Richard Linklater, which again is not like traditional animation at the same time. But just wow, dude. Again, if you have HBO Max, you have access to all of the Studio Ghibli movies, and do yourself a favor if you've never seen them. And please do it with subtitles. Don't do it with the dubs.
No.
No dubs.
Subs, no dubs.
Subs, no dubs. Okay.
That's how I watch JoJo's.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, yeah, man.
Dude, Veronica's nephew is like obsessed with that show now.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know about it? Like, you know, all the like famous villains are like bands names?
No.
Yeah. Like there's in the first
She
season.
was saying she watched some of it with him, and she was like, do you ever want to watch that show? I was like,
Dude,
yeah.
I'm going to recommend, let's see, okay, I'm going to recommend you start with Stardust Crusaders, which is the iconic JoJo that everyone knows.
Okay.
And it's like his grandfather's got to come get him because like his mom's, you know, Dio is back, crazy shit. But all the ones in there, it's like, they're all like, I have to show you them, but they're all like different. All the villains that show up there are different references to bands that Araki likes. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's related to the Araki that we saw in the Sex Museum, the bondage fetish photography guy. But it may be like a classic last name over there, Araki.
Probably.
But yeah, dude, JoJo's is wild. Like, it's got crazy just...
Well, I should hope so. It's a bizarre adventure.
Yeah, well, like the second one...
I can't talk too much about anime on here because like every time I add another one to the list, Sunshine Mayfield is like, motherfucker, I've been telling you to watch Avatar for months! For months! I was like, dude, I gotta finish Gundam. And then like I mentioned that I was contemplating rewatching Dragon Ball, and he was like, "Dude, Avatar, please." And I'm like, "It's not really anime, bro. It's not really anime.
No,
it's Americanized anime."
Yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I would start there. You would probably enjoy it, especially what is considered the 4th season. It's a very like David Lynch Twin Peaks vibe.
Oh, dude, all
of
about
like this town that like it's batshit crazy.
A bizarre adventure.
There's a David Bowie-esque villain that like can stop and change time, and like it's wild, dude. You would love it.
I am totally on board.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to let me know what you think when you start watching it.
I will do that. Okay. Have we reached that moment, or do you have some rewatches for me?
Oh, I already gave you my rewatches. Remember?
Okay, so we're good.
We're good.
Okay, we're 2 hours plus into this episode.
Right.
Ready to be done with it. But before we can do that, this is the first 2x2 retro review of 2021. Who's revealing first?
You first. I have a ceremony to do with mine.
Okay.
And a backup if you don't want either of them because they're too...
The stipulations determined by you. This movie had to come out in January.
Yes.
Period.
Right.
And our arbitrary rule for 2x2 retro reviews, nothing past 2010.
Right.
We really try to avoid like the late 2000s altogether, but we like to, keep it back a bit.
Yeah.
So I went with a movie that is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. Came out in 2001.
Oh.
It stars a Hollywood legend, an icon, if you will. One of the few people who could go by a single name. Okay? And
are you going to make me watch Swept Away with Madonna?
Hey, good call. I said a Hollywood icon.
Really?
Hollywood icon
I don't
for
know.
Madonna?
Have you seen Body of Evidence?
Yeah, I have. We rewatched it last year. Shit's wild. I'm pretty sure they were actually fucking.
They were. They had to have been.
Oh, God. Willem Dafoe, man.
Oh,
just bold.
Fucking bold.
Choices. I'm going to give you some cast members.
Okay.
I want to see if you can guess it. Okay. Harry Dean Stanton.
The Crew.
Sam Shepard.
Are you going to make me watch Alpha Dog? No, Sam Shepard isn't
It's
in
from
Alpha Dog.
2001.
Oh. Alpha Dog wasn't 2001?
No.
Harry Dean Stanton and
Alpha
Sam
Dog's
Shepard.
like, no, it's not.
It's like 04, 05. You're right. The events that happened in 2001. You're right. Harry Dean Stanton.
Okay.
And
I'm not going to
Sam
go any further
Shepard.
with the cast
No,
because
I'm just trying to
I don't
guess
want to
now.
spoil all of the great supporting actors in this movie. I don't know if you remember it. Again, stars a Hollywood icon. It's a detective story, sort of. Hold on.
Is it The Score with Brando?
No.
Okay. I don't know.
You're getting warm though. You're getting a little warm. Okay. This movie is directed by a very famous actor.
Is it The Pledge?
It is.
You're going to make me watch The Pledge? Fuck yes,
When's
man.
the last time you watched The Pledge?
Like 10 years ago.
Okay. Starring one Mr. Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Directed by Sean Penn. And I feel like, spoiler, I don't know how well you remember the movie. All I want to say before we go into this, part of what made me pick it, other than the fact that it came out in 2001 in January.
Aaron Eckhart is in that movie, right?
He is.
Okay.
There's a lot of other people.
There are a lot of people in that
gonna be
movie.
like, yeah, I just told you Harry Dean Stanton and Sam Shepard.
You know what I should have thought of? I thought you were going to make me watch About Schmidt.
It's 2002.
I know, yeah. But it didn't come out in January.
Good movie. I thought...
You might want these back.
Okay. I don't know how well you remember this movie. The main reason I picked it...
He retires.
Other than the obvious.
He gets drawn back in.
Yes.
Sort of.
Essentially. I don't want to spoil it for you. This is one of those weird movies. I'll say it in advance. This is why I want to explore it with you. I think it's a flawed masterpiece.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like,
Did
I think
we
it has...
see this in theaters?
No, we watched this at the Beach House at Emerald Isle.
Right.
When I was 10 years old. I had not seen it.
Right. Since
again
then.
until last night.
Okay.
I was like, dude, it's been a full 20 years.
How
since
did
I've
you
seen
watch
this
it?
Movie. It's on HBO right now.
It is?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it hasn't popped up on my thing. I like Jack Nicholson. I like true crime shit. Why would it not show up?
No, to be specific, I picked this movie out
Okay.
to watch for retro reviews and then watched it last night. It's not like I came across it and I was like, oh, this fits perfectly.
Okay.
It was not that synergistic. But afterwards,
Is that a word?
it is now.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it ties in thematically very strongly with the movie that kicked off 2x2 retro reviews so many months ago, Gene Hackman and Night Moves.
Okay.
And I want you to think about Gene Hackman and Night Moves when you watch Jack Nicholson in The Pledge.
Pledge. Okay.
And I'm not saying we have to draw a direct parallel, but it was a nice little,
okay.
I was like, this is a good way to kick it off, and it fits with your criteria of it having to come out in January. I think it's an underrated masterpiece. We will talk about it. It has some glaring flaws, some huge issues that need to be addressed, but there's a masterpiece in there. And
it's not Penn's first time directing.
No. He'd done The Indian Runner prior to this and The Crossing Guard with Nicholson.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever saw Indian Runner.
No.
Mom loves that movie. I'll bring it to you. Viggo Mortensen and David Morse.
Oh.
Good movie. Tough movie. Good movie. Okay. That's my pick. The Pledge from 2001. True dumping ground movie where you're like... And I can't wait to talk about it with you, but keep this in mind too. Like, I want you to watch like the 30-second TV spot, which I'm sure I'll play in the episode. And it's just like, dude, if this is how they were selling it to people, like, no wonder it got a D cinema score.
Yes.
This movie is so not what people wanted, and that's why I fucking love it so much, dude. It makes some weird choices too. I can't wait to discuss it with you.
I just remember some spot where it's like a door kicks open and it's him looking startled and scared and like with the gun down, and I'm like, oh my god, that's intense.
You don't know who's on the other end of that gun right now, and when you realize who's on the end of it, you're gonna be like, that motherfucker's in this movie. This guy too. Okay. That's all we'll say for right now.
I'm trying to recall it.
Aren't you so excited?
I am, dude. And I feel
so
terrible
glad that
for
you
my
told
picks.
me you haven't seen it in forever.
I haven't.
Lay
I
it
don't think you've seen any of these picks. I was gonna go. What did you think I was gonna make you watch?
Antitrust.
No.
Because it came out also January of 2001, and it's a 20-year anniversary.
Good call. I should have pulled it. I didn't think about it, okay? So this is what I'm going to do for you since it's my birthday, and this is dump months, okay? You got 3 dump choices you can pick from, okay?
Dumps.
This is your first dump choice. You might not want to do it because it may tie in later. This is your first dump choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, directed by Michael Bay.
Right. Okay, your second dump choice, it's streaming. It's Matinee by Joe Dante with John Goodman.
With John Goodman? Okay.
Yeah. Never seen it. I have never seen it. It looked pretty interesting. Came out in January. It was a dump month title. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I haven't seen it. I haven't
that
seen
might be one you want to choose. This is your other one.
Oh, take this shit off the table.
It's newer. Yes.
It's done been trumped. It's Den of Thieves, the unrated cut.
In the flesh. You don't even have to stream it. You can put that disc in your machine and it plays the movie. It might even have some special features you might like. I don't know. Does it have a commentary?
So amped. Includes an alternate ending.
Yep.
A bonus feature called Alpha Males. A
Yep.
bonus feature called End of the Den. And it's got some more too.
Yeah.
And more. That's what it says. So I'm seeing 2.5 hours for this unrated cut. What was the theatrical?
Just a little over 2, right at 2. I never watched the unrated
They were
cut.
like, it's not a Michael Mann ripoff if we don't have multiple versions.
Exactly.
We got to stay true to our roots. Dude, I'm so excited for this one, dude.
Okay,
I'm so
good,
excited
finally.
to watch Den of Thieves. I am so excited to talk about The Pledge. It's going to be a weird pairing, but I'm fucking amped, man. This worked
Good.
out well.
Okay. Now I was
Keep this one in the rotation.
Well, no,
I'll
because-
hold on to it. I didn't mean to fuck it.
You know what was terrible? I went to Scratch and Spin and I got this and I was like, you don't by chance have these on Blu-ray back there, do you? And he's like, did you look up on the top? I was like, yeah. And he goes, no, if it's not on the top, I don't got it, but I can order it. And I was like, no, I need these before Tuesday, so I'm just going to take them. Thanks. And I got them there. But like, that 13
weird
hours
thing
will
to
play
bring
in
up.
later
We'll roll this out in a second, but
if we finish Bay of Lynch, we can use 13 hours.
I'm just gonna say DVDs are totally solid because perfect example. I put in my Spirited Away Blu-ray the other night. Never been played before. Never gone into a machine before, and it wouldn't work on my PS4 because my PS4 is having trouble with its Blu-ray drive. DVDs load up like that. Blu-ray drive, it's hit or miss. It may load, it may not. It may just spin forever. So DVDs are where it's at for me for right now.
Well, then
if
that
it's not
box you
streaming.
got is good to go then.
Hell yeah. All right. So next time, presumably about a week from now, 2x2 retro review, first one of 2021 with The Pledge from 2001 and Den of Thieves from a couple years ago. Really retro. Real retro, by the way.
Listen, I figured this was the time. It's been long enough. We've been teasing it for like the entire time we did this. You kept telling me you're
Gavin
going
has
to.
been trying to get me to watch this, and I literally almost did like less
When it
than
came
a
on
month ago.
Netflix.
That's why I'm kind of glad I did.
And you noticed I
actually.
put that in front of you.
I'm so excited to watch.
You
this
should
movie,
look
dude.
at that cover, dude.
I'm there for it, dude. I am there for it.
You know what the funny thing about both of those is?
What's that?
Pablo is in both of those.
You got Shreep.
You
got Shreeba in this too.
Yes, he's in that. He's the cynical one that's like, the shit's getting crazy. I'm out here saving your ass. You can hide in here, man. And he goes out and like, he's defending the Benghazi CIA thing. Yeah, he's in both of them. Wild shit.
Also, are we allowed to do this?
Krasinski?
No, I'm just saying this is like stepping on the toes of like if we ever finish Bay of Lynch, like
that was the
don't be a weird stray movie that we covered.
That was right. That was the one that I was like, I don't think he'll go with this because
I was thinking
it's part of Bay of Lynch.
Between this and Matinee, I was inclined to just be like, fuck it, dude, I'll watch 13 hours.
Right.
Okay. And then you bring out Den of Thieves into the equation. It's just like
it's all over with.
No question.
No,
right.
There's some top-notch performances in Den of Thieves.
Dude, I am amped.
Good.
You don't understand. Did I send you that episode on garbage crime from The Ringer? I definitely sent.
Maybe you did.
I sent you a link to it, and I was literally like, dude, they made this episode for you. They talked about Sleepless.
Yes.
They talked Contraband. They talked about all of those
Never
movies.
seen Contraband. I need to watch that.
But all of those movies, essentially, they have dubbed garbage crime, where it's like, and Den of Thieves is like
the king of
the
garbage crime?
godfather of garbage crime.
Yes, it is. Yes. Very much so.
And I was like, they sold me on it. On top of the fact that they did a rewatchables for Den of Thieves a couple months prior to that. They usually do movies that have been out for like years. They very rarely do recent stuff. And they were like, we got to do Den of Thieves. They've done Heat twice, by the way, but they've done Den of Thieves now, and it's like, yeah, same echelon. Anyways, I cannot wait.
Den of Thieves wants to be Heat, but it knows it's not, and it's okay with it.
I hope we have a To Live and Die in L.A. situation on our hands where you brought this to me, and I'm like,
why didn't I see it in theaters? Because remember, your brother went and saw that in a theater in January, the year it came out.
Good for you.
And he had a great fucking time doing it. It has nothing to do with the fact that they talk like actual stuff that happens at banks and credit unions and all that. I appreciated all that, having working in one as I do. But all the other shit, fucking wild. You're going to love it. You are going to love it.
I am very excited. Okay.
All right.
We will see you very soon with a new 2x2 retro review. And we appreciate you sticking around if you did this entire time. Pretty amped for 2021.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that like shit got a little wild.
Right.
About a week before we recorded this. But another time, another episode.
Yep.
We'll leave it at that.
Kick it on down the road a couple times. We'll be all right.
Yeah. For right now, we're focusing on The Pledge and Den of Thieves, baby. Right. And we will see you very, very soon. We keep doing this. We won't see you, but we will speak to you.
That's the second time you'll hear us very soon.
Yes.
If you want the lady to come back, let us know. We'll get her back in here.
Yes, please do. thearkofe@gmail.com. Let us know if you would like more Becky Drake. And until next time, I've been Noah.
And I've been Gavin.
And we've been the Blanchard Brothers. And you've been listening to what we've been watching.
You've been listening to what we're gonna do.
You nailed it. You nailed it, brother. All right.